From beautiful, sunny, rural Retreat, Virginia. Welcome back to the Garage Orloff show. The wonderful town of rural Retreat, Virginia brings you another exciting color episode here on the Garage Orloff Inspirational Network, Channel 47, WFUN. Uh, it's a fantastic Saturday, November 2nd, 2024, in the year of our Lord. We're here having incredible amounts of fun here. Just incredible fun. Oh my gosh. It's just so much fun. Let's see what's going on here, man. Here is the link to come on. We were on another live stream, but I decided to end it and start another one. So let's see what the weather's like here. Our new color camera is should be crystal clear here. Oh my gosh. It's raining outside. I thought it was a sunny day. Sunny day, sweeping the clouds away. On my way to where the sky is. Well, how's it go? The grass is straight now. Where the sky is neat. Can you tell me how to get to Gratiot Street? Okay, whatever. Who cares? We're getting ready for a Donald Trump rally. And I'm looking at old issues of Famous Monsters of Filmland today and waiting for Donald Trump to come on stage. What are you doing? All right. Let's see if this next issue has a big chunk torn out of it. Hopefully not. This is issue 41. The real Werewolf of London, not the Warren Zevon song. Look, I'm going to offend you now. I'm sure all of you love the Warren Zevon song, Werewolves of London. I always kind of hated that song, honestly. It just, maybe it's because of the friend that introduced me to Warren Zevon and just thought he was the greatest thing in the world. He's got a song, Roland the Headless Thompson Gunner or something. I was like, yeah, it's just not that funny, you know. Warren Zevon, not a huge fan, but no offense if you like him, you're welcome. I'll forgive you for that sin. Um, so we're up into 1966 clearly because they're selling the 1940s Batman cereal in 200-foot reels. And how much does it cost to get all of these? $8.49 an episode. That's a lot of money. This is when, as we were talking in the last episode, it cost 50 cents to buy a copy of Famous Monsters of Filmland. We were trying to figure out what that is in today's money. I just know you could have gotten 4 comic books for the price of Famous Monsters of Filmland because comic books at this time were 12 cents. This is issue 41, by the way, from November of 1966. So by then, November, it was the end of the year. Batman started in January of 1966 at the beginning of the year. So there'd been almost a year of the Batman craze when this happened. Imsh says, that's a sweet copy. Yes, indeed. Yeah. This is Bella in his black magic den in one of his rarest, seldom seen, most little known films, I Led Two Lives, which we know as Glenn or Glinda. The horror props are very, very kind of sparse on the shelves behind him. Um, Yeah, he was the narrator of Glen or Glenda about. Yeah, well, you know what that's about. The most monsterific news of the year, introducing the new 1967 Famous Monsters Yearbook. Barbara Steele. There were only 4 back issues to get of Erie. You couldn't, actually 3. You couldn't get Erie #1 because Erie #1 really, technically, didn't really exist. Erie #1 was just a little ash can that I think they printed 500 of. It was not ever distributed to newsstands. It was simply a non-existent book. So Erie #2 is Erie #1, basically. Unless you're one of these ultra rich people, you can maybe get your hands on Erie #1, but there are bootleg copies of it out there, so it's really not even worth your time. You know, just create more anxiety than it's worth. Here's the Munster Go Home movie, which came, which actually was released to theaters after the Munsters was off the air. Ironically, the Batman movie and the 1966 Batman movie came out at theaters just a few months after the Batman series had started. Batman started on television in January of '66, and then the Batman movie came out that summer, just a few months later. It had really been intended to be the first thing that they were going to have the Batman film and then the series, but they pushed the series up. That's my understanding. Oh no, come on. Don't get me a copyright strike with the AC/DC music. Come on, come on, come on. No, it's going to get me in trouble. I'm going to have to edit this out, for sure. It's a problem with having the rallies in the background is the sound can create copyright problems. I think this is what Friar Tuck just said is being aired on television right now as we speak on some Universal Horror Movies channel that's on Roku. He said they were playing the Deadly Mantis, and there we go. Yeah. Yes, indeed. This real rocket zooms high in the sky. Look at these cannons they're selling. Can be heard 5 miles. I bet that's was popular with parents. Real cannons. These cannons, these cannons can be heard 5 miles away. Actual scale models of Army originals. Fire harmless carbide. Sound like dynamite blasts. Safe and harmless. No matches, no gunpowder. Get hundreds of big booms. Get a big bang out of your own newsmaker cannon. I'm sorry, noisemaker cannon. They're this one's only $4.95. This one's $9.95. That one's $14.95. And it's this is it. Huge 25-inch tractor cannon to knock them dead. 25-inch, 155 millimeter type, extra loud blockbuster. Boom. 8 heavy duty tractor wheels. Simulated hydraulic lifter. Maybe that's all you need to scare Trin de Agua or whatever away when they start rioting after Trump wins. Let's see. What someone's coming in here. Oh, it's Meyer. Stage. What's up,
Hey,
Meyer?
just coming in from outside.
Pretty cold. What's the temperature there? Do you know?
I think it's about 50. I
Okay.
don't know, maybe 52. I'm not sure. I haven't checked in a little bit. It warmed up. Not too
Let me
cold.
see. Let me see what it's here in rural Retreat, Virginia. Let's see here. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Search. Or can you use your phone to look?
I am, but do you? What do I? What happens? Do I disappear when I do that?
Yeah, it just goes black. The screen goes
Yeah.
black. I don't know if I can do it on I could probably do it on mine too. Let's try. Let me see.
Yeah, I just go off to and look at the
It's 46.
I still see you though.
Okay. So
You got a better
you
phone
see
than
my
me. It's
other phone?
57 here
Oh, it's
and
warm there.
raining. So we're actually warmer than you here in
Yeah.
Virginia. You know, the Trump's about to talk. It's just about an hour and 13-minute drive. I just checked from where I'm at right now,
Oh,
Salem, Virginia. Yeah, you can. So I probably should be there watching him now, but instead I'm here. But all right, yeah, this one is in good shape. Emsh was commenting.
Hercules figure yesterday. Cool.
Oh, hold on. Let's take a look at what you got here. What did you get now?
This Hercules figure. Check it out. It looks really
Oh,
good.
it's the Marble Hercules.
Yeah, yeah.
It
It's a
looks like
really
he's
good.
had some surgery there on his belly.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
that's just where
I,
the
I,
articulation.
I know it, but it just looks like someone did an autopsy on him. When it's someone's bare skin, it's more obvious when they have
Oh,
those
maybe.
joints.
I'm
But
so
no,
used
he's a
to the
great
design.
figure. At
It's a
first, I
great
was
figure.
yeah,
Looks just like him.
yeah.
Captures his it's a big figure too by comparison to like see when you put him next to Spider Woman, see he's big.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like all those. Those are pretty good. Um,
And I got Gene Simmons down here too because he's a Marvel character.
yeah, I have that figure as well. Yeah.
Isn't it a nice figure? It's a good figure.
Yeah, that was one of the early McFarlane. That was from
Mhm.
the 90 late no, it was maybe 99, 2000, something like
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. It was a gift from my son. My son gave it to me years ago. And I wish that I had had the other three because it came with like big letters so you could spell
Yeah.
kiss and you stood on top of the letters.
Yeah, I just uncovered those letters. I was just about to take them down to the basement. Yeah, I've got all four of them.
All I have is the K.
Yeah. Imp says, agreed. Eerie #1 isn't worth the hassle. The rare House of Horror, the Blazing Combat anthology are totally worth seeking out. Imp says, Tom Platz had bigger legs than Herc. Who's Tom Platz? You know who Tom Platz is?
Yeah, that was a bodybuilder from the 80s, I think. Is that right?
I don't know. He says, any flea markets near Meyer? That's a good question.
Flea market. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
just
sure there
put
are
in.
in Sacramento. There's a lot of antique stores here and thrift shops too. A lot of thrift shops.
Yeah, you're bound to find some good ones.
Mhm. Platts. Wasn't that one of those artists from the 90s?
Uh, who? What? Where? I thought you
Platt.
said he was a bodybuilder.
I don't know though. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I have no idea, man.
I don't know.
And then Zork
This is
was talking about some Green Beret, I think, in the last stream. I just don't know who. Okay, what do you got there?
It's pretty good. I recommend it. I've been drinking it for a little while. I bought like a whole flat of them, G Fit. It's got 100% of your daily needed vitamins and stuff inside of it. It's
Oh,
like no added sugar, no colors, no artificial sweeteners or flavors, 100% of daily value vitamins, electrolytes from watermelon and sea salt.
huh,
Pretty good. It's not sweet like your regular Gatorade.
huh. And they're not a paid sponsor at all.
No, not a paid sponsor at all. But it's good. I recommend it. If you're looking for something to drink, one drink and you get all of your daily vitamins.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Hmm. You know what I was noticing? I got these Star Trek models out the other day. Do you
Yeah.
remember anywhere else that they used this font? I mean, I really like the font, but do you remember where they used it anywhere else?
Uh, No, but it looks real familiar.
They use it
Uh,
on these, remember these tins? These the it's a tin and it comes with a print inside of it.
yeah. Is that a replica of the original box art for the kit when it came out?
I think so, and it comes with this print, and it's a real nice print. Um,
Um,
yeah, I think so. I've got this one, and then I got the Klingon battle cruiser too.
yeah, well, I'd be able to tell because I bought an original Klingon battle cruiser when it
Yeah,
came
I had
out.
an original battle cruiser as well.
I
Well,
don't remember
I had
that
both of these
packaging.
when I was a kid. I had them both when I was a kid.
Well, I think the the
The
Klingon
battle
battle
cruiser,
cruiser
oh,
didn't come out till about 73.
the battle cruiser is not built, and it looks like there's a couple flags in here. Let's look and see what they are. So hey, is this the same color light blue that the original was molded in? It's molded in this light blue. Look,
My Klingon battle cruiser was black plastic.
I think mine was either gray or it was this blue. I feel like it might have been gray.
Uh, that would be perfect. I mean, they should have molded it just in white so that you
This
could
is
maybe not.
this color is nice. It's kind of like an aqua.
Yeah, yeah.
So it
Mine
looks
was solid black.
we have a flag that was inside there.
No, no flag came in my kit. No, 100. No, not at all.
I don't think it came with this flag.
Oh no, that's not the Klingon. Come on.
Yeah, but it was inside of the tin. So we had to pull it out and look at it. There's another one in here too. We're gonna look at the other one too. And we need to keep, we're unpacking everything. I'm moving into this new place. There's no need to keep anything packed ever again. This flag can go up over one of the back windows in the collection room or the spare bedroom. Um, help insulate against the cold as winter arrives. And we have one more. This one's like it's still inside the package. Wow, look at this.
Oh no. Oh wow. I would love to get one of those. Did you find that there in town?
No, I bought this back before the 2020 election.
Really?
Yeah, that's why it says down here. I think it says at the bottom. I thought it said you can't stump. What does it say?
No commie can stump him.
Man, no woman, no commie can stump him. But he lost. He lost. Yeah,
Yeah.
they stole it. The steal was on.
Well, man.
But that can go up now. Isn't that beautiful? Wow,
Yeah.
I've had this for like 5 years, guys. For about 5 years, I think.
And you stored it in a Star Trek model kit
It,
box?
it's been in there the whole time, and I didn't know either one of those flags were inside there. I wouldn't have known unless I had opened it, just like for the reason that we did on this show. I had no reason to open that model kit. I didn't know these were in there. So that's perfect. We can put these up.
Yeah. We're in San Francisco. Were you
What
able to buy a flag like that?
I ordered it. I think I ordered it on Amazon. I think both those flags came from Amazon.
Oh, I see. So it says, I have a theory that Sylvester Stallone is Robert Mitchum's illegitimate son. Prior text says Zork/Centaur. Yeah, well, he's got many names. He was something else earlier on a previous stream.
Let's look inside.
Every stream, he's a different.
Okay, so the Spock is partially built, and like the base looks pretty good. I mean, I
Yeah,
think so.
okay.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
my model.
It
Anyway,
looks
here
looks.
I did the base already.
Did you paint it?
Yeah, yeah. I painted the base. I painted the here's the dragon, the three-headed dragon guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Where's Spock?
Yeah, I had a Spot kit when
Oh,
I was a
come on.
kid, but
Let's
it
take
it
it over and see if we can put them together. Come on.
so he's painted, just need to be glued together.
Yeah, and it looks like he might fit together without gluing it right now, just lightly.
Oh, cool. Was the insignia on the chest decal, or was that molded on?
It's molded on and painted.
Oh, that's
I don't
pretty
know if
good.
that's the left shoulder or not. Maybe it's supposed to go over on this side. I think so. I don't know though. It's there now. All right. Phaser stuff. It's not. Oh shit! It's not finished. It's not
Yeah.
completed.
Well, I had one as a kid. I don't know what happened to it, but I bought a new one about 10 years ago. But the one I bought has the original box like the one I had as a kid, but the box you have, maybe that was the original issue box. I don't know. But I do remember, I think that in when Star Trek went into big time syndication around 1973, right about the time that the cartoon started on Saturday morning, it seemed like there were tons of model kits started coming out. And I remember the hobby shop would have contests, and they had a big sign that the Romulan battle cruiser was coming out. I remember that, in the 60s, I think it was just the Enterprise kit was out. I don't know if the Spock kit was out when the TV show was on the air. It could have been, but it
I have
seemed
no
like a lot
idea.
of the other kits, and then there was one of little miniature versions of the tricorder and the communicator and the phaser. I have
And the
that
shuttlecraft. Remember the
box.
shuttlecraft?
Those all kind of came out later. There's someone coming in. Who's that? Oh, Gotham City. Oh, we're all back together.
I
Um,
don't know what happened.
oh no, what I said what I was doing, but you might not have been listening. I just was ending the stream because was kind of long. Sometimes you go too long and StreamYard freaks out, and they'll just stop recording. I just wanted to start a new stream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Imp says, I wonder if Glenn Danzig is a conservative. I know Henry Rollins isn't. I'm pretty sure Glenn Danzig is. He was almost thrown in jail by Clinton. Clinton didn't like something he said, and he was trying to send people after him. I think Danzig is, and but he doesn't talk about it a lot. But yeah, I think he is. That's the impression I get from everything I've seen. Um, um, but and the type of neighborhood he grew up in, I would think that he would be. I don't know. Uh, what are you up to, Imsh? Ooh, this one's got somebody spilled something on the back cover of this issue. This is. Let me see here. Let me lay out. Yeah, it's kind of disgusting. But this is, over the years, this is how I've found them over the years. It doesn't seem to extend into the magazine. It's just the back cover has some moisture damage that could probably flatten out if it was somebody spilled something. Looks like they wiped it off pretty quickly. Um, how have customers been today, Kevin?
It's been steady. Just one at a time, though. I don't have more than one person at a time.
What kind of stuff are they buying?
Um, I think it's been all comics so far.
Oh, you know these Carry On movies from England? They're real famous in England, and no one in this country knows about them. I guess they're kind of, I guess they're kind of slightly bawdy, naughty movies, but not anything extreme.
Yeah, I
Maybe kind
watched
of
a
like
few when I
Benny
was a
Hill or
kid.
something.
I learned about them when I was a kid. They used to show them on Dialing for Dollars in San Francisco during daytime TV when I would stay home from school pretending to be sick, and
Were
that's how
they
I
kind
learned.
of like? Was it kind of like Benny Hill or something?
Yeah, it was actually pretty similar to Benny Hill, and a lot of the times it would be the same like two or three lead actors and the same two or three girls. Um, Kind of the same. You know what it was kind of like? Do you remember that movie Young Doctors in Love? Remember that movie? It was
Yeah,
it was kind of like that. It was they were making, but every movie would make fun of a different genre, but it would be
yeah,
the same kind of crew. It was very British, very '60s British humor, like Terry Thomas type stuff, right?
yeah. Well, this one was called. There's apparently a horror one called Carry On Screaming. It says preview of new monster comedy. I don't know
I
if it
enjoyed
really.
them when I was about 10 years old. I remember enjoying watching those when I was about 10.
Yeah.
I cleaned up this Tor Johnson mask with a
Oh, let's
washcloth
take
and
a
some
look at
oil.
that. Hold on.
I don't know if you can tell, but he looks cleaner now.
Yeah. Imps has been adding some ditch lights to his pickup and changing oil.
I'm gonna put a big shelf right here, maybe up higher, and then put some masks on there.
Oh, neat. What are some of the comics that have been selling today?
New stuff, just newer stuff.
Yeah. Here's pictures of the Don Post studio outside the Don Post studios here. Let's see. Don Post Studios.
Yeah, I wonder what that building is now.
So they got a fiberglass mold. They're making like a big King Kong.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
open around.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Well, I was gonna say maybe if you could find out where you could probably find out the address of Don Post Studios in the '60s pretty easily. I was thinking I could go to the ad in the back. They have an ad for Don Post Studios, but it's not going to be directly to them. Captain Company, the company that that James Warren had, would be the intermediary. He'd buy them from Don Post and then sell them to you through Captain Company, so they wouldn't have their address. But yeah, it'd be interesting to find the if that building's still there in LA. What's in it now? So, I think it's coming up to 5 o'clock today. Is that correct? It's 4:34. So I may need to run and get some food here in a minute. Um, yeah, this cover has always been great.
Yeah.
Okay, this one doesn't. Okay, this one I folded the tape over. It's a technique that Captain Strangeliffe used to teach on his show. Ugh. Really hear the rain coming down quite hard outside. Okay, number 42.
On my walk home from the pizza parlor, I passed the Halloween tree, the pumpkin tree, and
Yeah.
there were some Asian tourists that were stereotypically taking pictures of each other in front of the the tree in the downtown and stuff. It was nice to see. But
Well, they invented that. Now everyone does that.
I know.
43. Boy, I really hear the rain coming down out there. Okay, wait. People are talking out here. Let's see. M says, any of you have the documentary Mr. Bitchin'? No. It covers the life and career of Robert Williams, superb on par with the doc of Crumb. No, I don't have that. I never heard of it, and I need that. Is it on YouTube, or how do you get that documentary? And Zork says, yes, Danzig is a staunch conservative. That's what I gather. M says, thought so, Zork. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty obvious. I mean, if Bill Clinton's trying to put you in jail, I forget what the reason was. Maybe some video he made. He didn't like some. I don't
Trump
remember.
live. Trump just went live on his own channel, which usually means
Yeah,
he's about ready to go
yeah.
live.
I see he's coming out. They've got some. They did this earlier today. They're playing like funeral music. What's some new opening music? Maybe it's part of Elon Musk's dark MAGA stuff. I don't even really quite understand that. Some kind of goth splinter of MAGA. Yeah, you hear that? It's well, now it'll go to proud to be an American. No, he's coming out to like haunted music.
Really?
Look at this. What is he doing, man?
Mhm.
It's almost like it's a funeral for the bad people. That's of course how it will be interpreted by the mainstream media.
Okay. Salem,
He's
Virginia.
Yeah, but he played the same music in North Carolina earlier. It's not the Salem. It's not Salem, Massachusetts. It's just the
Right.
same name. Yeah, Forrest J. Ackerman went all the way around the country, visiting the homes of subscribers, the famous monsters, that kids that had set up monster basements, and he'd go and visit the and bring them trophies or whatever the heck. I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's coming out.
Yeah, there's a problem with the camera. It's
Yeah, I got right side broadcasting. It's all out of focus.
yeah, that's what I'm looking at too.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, that's like
the
that's
camera.
like when I used to not have my glasses, except it was worse than that. Last night he had trouble with the microphone. He was getting mad.
It was.
Did you see that part?
Yeah, I saw the whole thing. It was funny. It was great. I
Yeah.
love how well he adapts.
Oh shit. Oh god damn! I got to turn this down. See, that's the funeral music. Then it goes to this. I'm proud to be an American. Whatever. This will zap you. This will get you a cut. It won't. It'll get you a copyright claim, and basically that just means that your video can never be monetized and cannot be shown in Russia. That's used to be. It said your video has a copyright claim. This isn't a strike, but your video will not be able to be seen in certain areas. Then you'll click on them. It's Russia, Iran, and North Korea because they don't want them to hear your music. And I always thought, why are those three countries not allowed to hear the background music on your channel? It's part of the embargo on those countries. We kept oil from getting to Japan, and they bombed us at Pearl Harbor. But we're keeping music from getting to Russia to try to provoke them, possibly. 43. This one, says it's the number one. It's the world's first monster fan magazine, which means by this point there are a lot of imitators on the stands, and they're trying to establish, hey, we were first. Um, I don't know how behind I am.
With Virginia. We're going to win Virginia, you know that. Outside, you have exactly 5 times the number of people. So you're going to win this. We are going to win this on Tuesday. Thank you, Mr.
Get
Governor.
hiccups. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
We're going to win. Thank you very much. You're a great governor of the state. He did a great job as your attorney general. Thank you, Glenn. What a job. So very special. Hello to Virginia. I know well for the Bible. And I'm thrilled to be back in this beautiful Commonwealth with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. That's what you are, you're patriots. And I'd like to begin with a very simple question for you to answer, if you don't mind. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?
Yeah, they already went away.
I come today with a message of hope for all Americans. With your vote on Tuesday, that's a big day. You got to get out. We win. I'll tell you what. We win Virginia. We win the whole thing without question. Now, it's very possible that without winning Virginia, we're going to win the whole thing too. But wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be nice? We got to do it. We're going to win Virginia. I really believe it. We felt it. Your governor felt it. I felt it for a long time. But I will end inflation. I will stop the invasion of criminals into our country, and I will bring back the American dream. This is all you really need to know. Kamala, a low IQ person, broke it, and I will fix it. I promise I will fix it. Go quickly. It's going to go quickly. They've done a lot of damage, but we'll go quickly. America will be bigger, better, bolder, richer.
My friend used to own this painting. My Reynold Brown. Well, his family still owns it. I mean, he passed away, but it's the painting done by Reynold Brown for Tarantula.
The 4 greatest years in the history of our country. That's what's going on. And I'm asking you to be excited about the future again. Be excited. You know, it's hard for you to be excited. When you watch what they've done to this country, it's hard. Just be excited. It's coming back, and it's going to come back for you.
Ouch.
And I'm asking you, remember this too. Dream big again. You're going to dream big. Do some incredible things, because this will be America's new golden age. It's going to be a golden age of America. We're going to get the stupid people out of here as quickly as possible.
Kamala, you're flying it. Get the hell out of here.
I think I'm a few minutes delayed. He just said, we're going to get the stupid people out of here.
Every problem facing us can be solved, but now the fate of our nation is in your hands. It really is. It's in your hands. On Tuesday, you have to stand up. You have to tell Kamala. And you can't call her Harris. You know why? Because nobody knows. I mean,
44.
Harris. The whole thing doesn't work, so we just call her Kamala. You're going to tell her that you've had it,
I don't have issue 47. That would be appropriate, but I don't have it. I have 46, then 48.
Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here.
Get the hell out
This
of
one
here.
I got from Duncan Gold Books.
Get the hell out of here. I'm here today in this incredible Commonwealth for one very simple reason, because I believe we can win Virginia, and that would be unbelievable. And working with your governor, we will get MS-13 that
Take this tape off.
load it up with them. We load it up. They don't want to touch it. We're going to touch them. We're going to get them out. We're going to have ice all over the place. You know what ice is? You know what ice is? They're very tough people that love our country. And if you don't have very tough people, you're not getting 13 out of
First famous monsters hobby kit, Forgotten Prisoner, Castlemare. This one's a well-read copy.
Fix your school. Stop the indoctrination.
Well loved, I should say.
We will not let them try to change your kid's gender. No, you will not be doing that. We won't be changing your children's gender with their transgender craziness. And we will protect parents' rights, and we will protect school choice. You're going to have school choice here. School choice. And we'll bring back an education system based
It's
on merit. Don't forget our Supreme Court
as
gave us a very great ruling.
the superhero craze was going on. This is probably into 1967. You've got all these paperback books of based on comic characters. You got Thor, Hulk, even the Tower, Wally Wood characters, Batman, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, and all these Tarzan books are there because Ron Ely's Tarzan TV series is on the air at this point. Why am I talking over Trump? What is wrong with me?
Last year, the radical left's gender insanity arrived right here in Salem when a man was allowed to transfer onto the Roanoke College women's swim team. I just met them backstage. They're great swimmers. I didn't notice a male on that particular team.
Oh, there's no posted specials. I was just about to check. Oh my gosh. Well, I know that the macaroni and cheese burrito with brisket in it is available. Are you on a break? Oh man, that's my wife I'm talking to. I gotta tell me what you want, and I'll call up and order, and I'll go bring the food.
If you say beautiful,
Um,
it means the end of your career in politics.
the restaurant we go to is only open on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, so that's it's pretty much a given. We always go there every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's kind of our reward for surviving the week. I'm going to call them at 5 and see what they have. Okay. Well, if you call them, just get me one of those burrito thing, whatever they call it, wrap, and maybe some of that coleslaw or onion ring tangles, whatever you want to get me. That's all I need. That's and I'll go get it.
Come on up, ladies.
Oh, wait, here you go. Giant.
There's a haunted house down there. I got it. The crowd of the haunted house will be there. I'll show you guys the crowd for the haunted. Actually, they may not be lined up until it's dark, and it's raining out there too. That 46. Zork, I'm doing pork chops. No, that's not a Zork voice. I'm doing pork chops and brandy, sweet potatoes, apples, and onions. Inch, what's the earliest issue of FM you have? Oh, I missed a lot of comments. My wife says I haven't felt well enough to eat today, and now I'm so hungry. Yeah. Um. Uh. Earliest issue. I'll. It's just a minute. I'll show you. 336. I'm. I should have a better collection. I'm really ashamed. It's this issue. Whatever issue number this is, September 1962. I got to get more. Got to get more, but I don't know. I mean, I guess mycomicshop.com, eBay. I don't know how to get more. Generations of girls to come. Thank you so much, and God bless America. Here's 48.
What a good job. Thank you, Lily. How about if we introduce each member of this debate? Can we do that? Come on up here.
He's introducing these girls on a volleyball team or something that got invaded by a guy. I don't know what team they are. Um, I'm sorry, a fellow woman that has the power of a guy. I have to be politically correct. No, I actually don't. But okay. They didn't have to hire someone to paint this cover. They've got someone in a mask as King Kong, as Santa Claus, and they're promoting that they have comics in this issue. Number 48.
What the hell is going wrong with our country? Can you imagine? And the men don't realize they're tougher and smarter than us. I hate to say it, but they're tough. The men.
Yeah,
All right, that's a great.
this is a brief experiment putting comic art or comic stories into famous monsters.
So
The monster from 1 million BC. They did it in Monster World magazine too, and then they stopped and just kept the comic stories in creepy and eerie.
That's what I thought too.
We have to get you guys.
Um,
You gotta get out. We have to get
but
out.
it's just
We want to win
they
the.
just would have one story per issue.
You know, it's always tough when you have California. They send out like $38 million. They don't know where they go. Well, they actually do sort of know where they go, but they don't know where they go. They don't know where they're coming from. They come pouring back in the millions, and then
Sorcerer, starring Boris Karloff. They're trying to get a little psychedelic here on us.
you know, we took a poll just recently, not us. It just came out like today. Did you see it? That I'm winning with Hispanics over the Democrat by 8 points.
At this point, they have masks
If God came down
of
and agreed to be our vote taker for one day, just one day, God
they have
would
masks
only need 1
of
second.
Uncle Creepy and Cousin Eerie, and the ones on the bottom are super masks that I guess are more detailed. Like that's the Cousin Eerie that's cheaper, and that's the more expensive one. And Uncle Creepy, same thing.
When you
Uh,
New York, Illinois,
$8.95 for the deluxe masks and $14.95 for the custom super eerie custom or the super fantastic custom super creepy mask with real hair.
who's a governor.
Oh, that's the difference. That they have real hair, the more expensive ones. Zork, this is the end result of not letting kids fight on the playground when they can learn the lessons without truly harming each other. Yeah.
Somebody has voter ID. If you say, "Let me see your voter ID," you are criminally liable. They will give you the electric chair. Ma'am, may I please see your voter ID? How dare you ask me for voter ID? How crazy.
Here they ask for ID here in the state I'm in.
Solid government. There's nothing great like. I can imagine. Friends like this. I think when we heard that one, we said this is getting a little bit crazier. So now it's not only that you don't have to have voter ID, now you're not even allowed to ask for it under penalty of a lot of problems. It's crazy. We got to straighten that whole mess out. And then they say we lost the popular vote, but it's tough. But I have a feeling. I mean, the polls are showing we're going to win everything. We're going to win the popular vote. We're going to win everything.
In Oklahoma, they require ID as well.
And I'd love to
Is it
win
just the swing states where they want to make sure that you don't have to have ID? Is that their scam? 48. I need to have 47.
It's going to be one of the most interesting days in the history of our country, and it's going to be the most important election in the history of our country. And if we win,
49. This is a good copy.
we got a big lead. This is like Lily. She's swimming, and she's 10 yards advanced with about 5 yards to go. That's where we are. In other words, we're going to win.
This Flash Gordon album from MGM, Leo the Lion Records was Leo Records was the children's record department at MGM. It's Flash Gordon acted out like an old time radio show, and it has Buster Crabbe doing the voice of Flash Gordon, but it was recorded in the late '60s when he was older. This is a really good Superman dramatic record. I think the guy playing Superman's voice is the one that played him in that Broadway play. And King Kong, that was also a great record. You can hear all these records on YouTube. These ones here acted out classic books, and they all had Wally Wood covers. You know, they were really cool. Oh, where all this work? I think I'm going to watch Heaven Knows Mr. Allison or Father Goose. I'm in a Pacific Theater mode. What's the current?
And we're going to indeed make America great again.
Heaven Knows Mr. Allison is one of my favorite like war movies. It's been like the World War II movie. With give me a second. It's Robert Mitchum and not even Marie Saint. Who is this? Who plays the nun in that? It's not. Who is it? Ingrid Bergman?
I've
Who's
never seen the movie.
That's a
This is
great
giving
movie.
me ideas of movies I should watch with Cleo. I don't.
Okay, so you guys, you actually, you know what? You guys, you should watch that with Cleo because it's a World War II adventure movie, but it's also a romance, and it's about Robert Mitchum, who is a Marine who is like washed up on a small Pacific island. At the
Yeah.
same time, on that small Pacific island, that little island has been overrun and taken over by the Japanese, and there's
Okay.
one surviving nun from a convent that's there. The two of them meet, and the movie is about them forming a friendship and surviving, hiding from the Japanese.
Oh,
And it's
cool.
great.
I like.
Zork,
Yeah, I need to find out.
who's
We
the
can
actress
search and
again? It's
find it.
Robert
It's
Mitchum,
available
right?
online to watch
Who is
on
the
Roku.
actress? Is it? It's not Ingrid Bergman. Who's the nun? He said it was his favorite role. Really, it's a beautiful film too. So the whole thing is shot beautifully on this little island. And there's these amazing scenes where Robert Mitchum devises a way to sneak into the Japanese camp in the hidden in darkness and silence, and like he commandos his way in and steals supplies, and yeah, it's badass. You got to see the movie. There's a
Cool.
bunch of badass stuff that happens.
This is May 1968. He says Deborah Kerr.
Deborah Carr, yeah, it's pronounced Carr. Deborah Carr. She
Carr.
was
Oh,
beautiful.
okay.
She was big, a beautiful woman, like a fashion model type actress.
I always thought it was Kerr. Oh well.
No, I always heard it pronounced Deborah Carr.
I knew a girl when I worked at the movie theater whose last name was Kerr. And, we always pronounced it Kerr, and she didn't
Yeah,
correct
I
us, but
don't
that
know.
doesn't mean that her
I
or
guess
the
I
other
looked
ladies.
it up. I always thought it was Carr. So it
This
was
is weird. It's a text story in Famous Monsters. It's not a single picture on 2-page spread. That is weird.
back to the Trump flag.
We just won a big.
This is always funny when Lon
Yeah, I'm
Chaney
glad it's
Jr.
I totally forgot I had this flag, you guys. I didn't know
Yeah,
you
it's
did.
great. Lon Chaney Jr. playing Frankenstein's monster. He just looks a little bit drunk.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, he does. He did.
yeah, you can't hide the drunkenness with the Frankenstein makeup.
Have you seen him in the westerns where he's like supposed to be like Geronimo or Sitting Bull, and he just looks drunk, made up to look like an Indian in like the
Yeah.
late '60s? Yeah.
Yeah.
Made a lot of low budget movies at the end.
This is the first time you see an ad like this in Famous Monsters. It's not an ad for. Usually, all the ads were internal for their own. They had their own company, Captain. It was called Captain Company, in a big warehouse. That warehouse is still there. It's something else now. But as I've looked up the street address for Captain Company, and it's in Pennsylvania, I think. I can't remember, but anyway, this is one of those comic book ads for some, the comic book dealer. Comic book collectors' attention. We have over 120,000 Marvel comics in stock, plus more than 60,000 from other publishers. To get your giant 40-page catalog, send only 50 cents to Grand Book Center, Department A. It's in Brooklyn, New York. So that's interesting.
You know what happened to that stock? It wasn't a pretty thing. So we'll check that out. I hope that he checks that out. Because you know what? She's a crook.
He's just,
She's been doing that crap.
he doesn't, he gives 0 F's right now. The movie was filmed in Trinidad. It led to Robert Mitchum releasing a Calypso album. I was aware of the Calypso album. The album's on YouTube. It's hysterical. Yeah, Robert Mitchum Calypso is like, yeah, I know that record. This is like an unread copy. This is probably from the Captain Company warehouse. There were tons of copies that were unread that were there. It was there. The whole market was flooded. I don't know why Famous Monsters would go for high dollars. Some of the issues from this time period, because there's tons of them out there. Just people aren't maybe aware. And they're all. This feels totally slick and like it's a brand new book. Is it past 5?
We learned the revision down.
5:03. I don't know if
12,000 jobs. These are big.
she's called.
1,000 jobs, 4,000 jobs. Almost a million jobs that were fake. These were fake jobs. That's why they call them perfect jobs. That's right. Perfect job. And so all of these jobs, and all of it was going to be announced right after the election. Could you imagine? You run an election, you really announce it.
This one I have three copies of it. This issue with Gorgo on the cover, and it looks like a photo, but when you get close to it, you realize, oh, that's a painting.
People dropped out of the labor force this month.
Well, their phone is busy. Yeah, sometimes that means it's busy, and sometimes they have phone problems. It is raining out there. It could be some problem. You can have sundowners now if you like. LOL. I don't know what sundowners are. Is that some mixed drink or something? Oh, Rob Royce and lowball crystal glasses. Okay.
No other president got 10 cents from the dollar. Hundreds of billions. But I always said I don't want to be Herbert Hoover. I refuse to be Herbert Hoover. That was that bad one.
We got the loyal 13 people watching that are always watching. Even if I just I could just point the camera at a wall and they'll stay tuned. All these 13 people. I really appreciate you guys. At this point, there were 4 issues of Blazing Combat. I think that's all that's pretty much it. I don't think it went beyond 4 issues. The first issue they show is sold out. All of them had Frazetta covers.
Yeah, I didn't get any of those.
Sundowners, sure. I'm sorry. Sundowners were what World War II people called 1 or 2 drinks after work, but before supper often. And then he says, "Nice pie, Meyer."
Yeah, let me show
Okay.
you.
Oh,
Let me show you
I don't know what I've been missing. I haven't been
how
paying
pizza
attention.
works at this place. So you go in this place and they make it's like what do you call, is this artisanal? What is this small batch? It's like home, everything, all the ingredients are all like really high quality and everything. So this is one
Okay.
slice, but one slice is really two slices. And
Right.
and one slice is $10, so it's actually $5 for one of these slices. This is called the Yuba. This is my current favorite. It's really good, man. So it's pepperoni, two different types of pepperoni, jalapenos, pineapple, and then some special two different types of cheeses, some special cheese sauce on top. It's really good. It's hot, but at the same time, it's sweet, and it's really good. And see how it's super thin crust. It's kind of like New York style, but at the same time, it's made with the the special like sourdough that they only use here. Like there's something to do with the history of the how they make this dough and the yeast and the water that it only tastes this way here. You know how that it works
Oh,
everywhere. Really.
yeah. I gotta go up. Cleo's want me to come upstairs real quick. Let's see what's going on.
Americans, great Hispanic American. I just had a call. Can you believe it? I'm leading the Democrats with Hispanics. That wasn't supposed to happen. You think that's shaking them up a little bit? That's not a number that was supposed to happen, but it does happen because they're great people and they know I know it. They're entrepreneurial, they're hardworking.
His head moves.
In many ways,
He
I've
gets out of the
faced them
chair.
many
The
times. They're
wheels
brutal.
turn.
It can be brutal. They're unbelievable. But you know what? They're starting to be affected too. But the African American population of this country is being decimated by the hundreds of thousands of people that just keep pouring
Hands
through the
bro.
open
This
borders.
guy's
That
sitting.
stupid Kamala. And you know what? They should announce those numbers right now because before the election, because you won't have one black person that votes for Kamala. You won't have one because when you see those numbers, you're gonna know
There's a
exactly
Boone
what I'm
bank. This
talking
is a pretty
about.
cool bank.
It's just like they didn't want to announce these other numbers, but they had the whistleblower. Maybe there's gonna be a whistleblower for what's happened to the job markets for hardworking, wonderful black people that have had jobs,
Here's
that
my
have had
Flintstones
jobs for
phone.
years, for 20 years, and they have houses with mortgages on them and everything else. And
But
what the hell
inside,
could happen to them?
it's a functional
We
cookie jar.
took a good
It's
look
just
at what they're
cookies.
doing.
You got a couple different kinds of
They
cookies in
want
there.
the election over with.
That's
And I
some
don't,
Nutter Butters and some vanilla Oreos.
but you ought to take a look at those numbers. It's a terrible, it's honestly, it's a terrible thing. I stand before you today as the only candidate who can rescue our
Here's Sugar
economy.
Bear.
And I mean, from
I think he came inside
obliteration,
the box of cereal.
restore it to strength, prosperity, and greatness again. I will do a real job for
Maybe you
you.
had to send away for him with some, and it seemed like you thought you were going to get an actual plush, but then you sent in like
I didn't
$1.99
need
free
this.
box top.
I
But
didn't need to be
you
with
didn't
you
read the
today. I could
fine
have been
print
at
that
a
said it was a
gorgeous
4 inch
beach,
tall
lots of
plush.
places. I
Said
own
you
some of the
were
most
wrong because
beautiful
of the
beaches
fine
in
print.
the oceans. I like all property bets. I could have been standing on a beach,
Here's a
my
bank
beautiful white
from
skin
that
getting
Kevin
nice,
Smith movie, Clerks 2, the movies
being
mascot.
smacked, being smacked in the face by a wave, floated up with salt water.
Wash it up.
And I could have said the hell with everything. I could have had the greatest life in the world. Instead, I got missing a little piece of my ear.
This is all stuff that's over here next to the sink that's in the line to be washed off and dried and eventually put on display like this little Shriner guy. He's doing stuff. What is this
Thank you.
really
Thank you.
dusty
Thank you.
Dr. Doom figure? He needs to be washed
Thank you
off
very
and
much.
put him on the shelf on display because he's really dusty.
That's nice. I like these
Some of this
people,
stuff
Fred. I tell you, I
I
like
packed
them.
in haste when I left the
They're
old
great.
place. And so some of it is dusted off and cleaned before I packed it. Some other stuff
But
I'm coming
anyway, I
from.
could have the greatest life. I could have had everything, the best hotels, the best everything. I could have had the life that nobody had. You know what? If I had it to do again, I want to be right here with you. We're going to make our country good.
This is a funny little toy made by Remco
Somebody
in
else
the
would do
early
that.
60s.
No,
I
make our
think
country great. I wouldn't switch. A
Remco
lot
was
of
in
people
their
would say,
mind was
"What's
trying
doing
to,
that?"
in
I've
a
been
way, compete with Hasbro
any
and
good
G.I.
chance.
Joe, but they
Usually,
were making this
that's why
little guy with a big head,
he was
kind of
in
like a bobblehead, but it's not a bobblehead. It's solid
this is second
plastic, and he
years.
comes on this little
Abraham
stand, and
Lincoln.
he's
Have you heard of
removable, and he has equipment that comes on and off. He's got
but in all fairness,
rifles.
this is
You know, got
all
his
so I
stuff
guess
is
the
inside
things
this
like
bag.
that.
He's got a
I
backpack
think
for
now I've gone
binoculars
to the
and
top of the
running.
list, and I am so honored because we're exposing some very bad,
He was
people.
called Little Joe.
We're exposing them. But a lot of people ask,
Really
how
dusty. You
did
got
you
to
do
take this
again? Would
helmet
you
off.
do it? I said, I wouldn't even think
You
about it. This
dust
is
it
the
off. But look
greatest
at
thing.
this
This
great,
is the
really
greatest
good bear. Look at
political
this really
movement
bear.
in the history of our country. Without question. Probably in the history of the world. And remember this for everybody, if you're thinking about like sitting down to watching some stuff, like a stupid football game or something. Remember this. If
I
we
love
win
that stupid football game or something.
it will go down, and you're a big part of it. You're a part of it equal to me as far as I'm concerned. If we win this election, it will go down as the greatest political event in the history of our country.
A little canteen. It's fixed on there.
If my opponent knew how to fix the
Remco about
economy, it
1962,
would all be
1963.
fixed, right? Why didn't she do it? You ever see where she gets up and
And
she's
it's solid,
going to
kind of
do this?
heavy.
Today she had to
It's
do
about
it.
4 inches tall.
When I get to office, I've got just 3, 4 months. Do it now. What's wrong with it? She says, when I get to office, she gives the worst news conferences I've ever seen. And they're the shortest too. They last for about
There's a
like two
dusty old
questions.
armored truck
No, but
that's
she
down
never
here
does
because it's
anything. If Kamala
dusty and
wins,
dusted off this
3
half
days
track.
away from the start of a 1929 style
Very
economic
hard
depression.
plastic.
You are. I know it. And if I win, you're 3 days away from the best jobs, the biggest paychecks, the brightest economic
There's
future
Mark's toys
that the
made in
world
the
has ever
USA.
seen. Kamala's inflation nightmare has cost the typical American family $30,000. And you know what they did? They screwed up my energy
So
policy.
from that marking, this is
And they
probably also
spent
the
money
early
as dollars as
60s,
nobody's ever
probably
seen
early
before,
60s.
I will say. And now she wants to oppose the largest tax hike in American history and raise your taxes by more than $3,000 a year. Congratulations, people.
Well,
I found this the other
You
day.
know, I've watched politics all my life and stuff.
It's a package for some gelatin, for some lemon jello,
Because I never thought I was going to
which in ASL sign language is this.
I
You go
looked
like
at
this,
how stupid everything was. Because we
with
are now,
salt,
we're
and
really
chin, and then you
like
go, that means lemon jello.
They like to call themselves progressive, so I call them liberal. It's just a thing.
hmm,
That's an unused box.
Like progressive or pretend. We are the party of common sense. Right? We need,
well,
we need walls. I built over 500 miles of wall. Walls work. Two things work. What are they? Walls and wheels.
You can kind of
Everything
fold
else
it up
is
a little bit. I
obsolete in
didn't put
about
it together
15 minutes.
completely, but I
They come
folded
up.
it up. You could
So
put
I
it,
have a new
make it
computer.
into a
Look at
bag.
this. I said, that's
But I
beautiful.
don't
You
think
get
it's
it
ever
in
been
two weeks.
used and turned into a bag
Speaking of computers
until I
and
did
wicked
that.
people, Elon Musk, how they
Jack and Jill gelatin. Have you ever heard of Jack and Jill Jello?
he's right down.
no.
I haven't either.
Put that
Yeah,
big
never heard of that.
22-story rocket right in place and locked in that big guy. How would it go?
It's raining pretty hard outside.
Is it?
Yeah, I ordered food, so I'm gonna go pick it up here. I'm gonna put the phone under my jacket so it doesn't get wet.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
top here, holding up the Trump flag right now.
Oh my gosh, man. You know, we talked about Tommy Sotomayor before, right?
Yes, we did.
Did you see him back in 2016 when
Yeah, I
Trump
used to
won?
watch him on YouTube. I used to watch him on YouTube when he was living in that house in Arizona with
Yeah.
the pool.
Did you see how he
And all the
celebrated when
wrestling
Trump
belts.
was,
What's
sorry,
that?
when
What?
Trump was elected in 2016? Tommy Sotomayor, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Tommy Sotomayor was like just dancing around. He was so happy. He had some fake wrestling belt that he was like holding up that like he was the champion. He was having so much fun.
Yeah, he was funny.
I guess you got to go to Rumble maybe to see him now because I don't think he's
Yeah.
capable. Looks like I just saw Tulsi Gabbard is live in Atlanta, Georgia. His Trump's people are out doing separate little mini rallies. Uh,
This is the Magic Shot shooting gallery from 1975, I think, maybe 74. I can't remember the exact year on it, but it's, they made these all throughout the 70s, but this particular model, I think, is the 75.
yeah.
Let's see if we can't get it to work. You guys might remember it. It involved this little pistol that's Velcroed to the side. This is one of the ways you can tell that this is one of the later models. Like I said, 75, 74. The earlier ones had a little cord attached to this. And so it was always hanging off of here. And my
Yeah.
cousin had one of the ones with the cord where it was attached by a cord. And they never played with theirs. And I always wanted to steal the gun just to cut it off, but I never did. But I was like, they don't even play with it. They don't even know how cool that gun is. Because I always thought this gun was really cool. But I can't show this. Shit, I can't believe I'm showing it. I forgot.
Yeah.
Darn it, I forgot. We can't go any further.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I hope that wasn't enough to stop the stream. I just remembered.
Did you show it?
Anyway,
I wasn't
guys,
even
this
looking.
is a cool idea. This was a magnetic shooting gallery. So if you look down here, all these slots are filled with little BBs, metal balls, and the tip of the gun has a magnet on it. And you put the tip of the gun to the clear plastic screen. You move it over, and you're holding that little ball the whole time. And when you pull the trigger, there's a tiny little spring in there with a very small amount of movement, and it hits this screen and knocks the ball off and hits all the targets, which they spin, and you can ring a bell, and you can, I don't know, you can all kinds of stuff here. I don't know. Anyway,
That's
that's
cool. I'm gonna run into a restaurant, but it keeps showing stuff. It's cool. I'll watch that part later.
it's even got the instructions inside. So this is the type of stuff that I would just jump on whenever I would find it. I was just like that other thing we looked at, the Yankee Doodle Project, Yankee Doodle rocket launching toy. I wasn't necessarily looking for this, but when I saw it and it was at the right price and it was complete with the original box, and I remembered always wanting this toy, but my mom would never buy it for me because it had a gun. So that was it. What is this? Oh wow! This when you first got the toy, the BBs came inside this bag. Attention parents, this bag contains small steel balls for this game. For safety, keep out of reach of children under 3 years of age. Please immediately drop them inside of this game. Refer to instruction sheet where they will be contained for safe play. And it had a staple, and then somebody just cut or ripped it, and then they kept everything. Funny, huh? It's interesting. I love when I find stuff from people that kept everything. likely an old person and not a kid, you know. This is kind of cool. This is the Mark's Mystery spaceship. It's gyro powered. Original packaging as well on this. In much better shape than that shooting gallery. And this is a lot older too. This is from about 56, I think. This is one of my favorite toys. This is actually something that I really did search out and find because I had wanted it for a long time. So it's this gyro powered flying saucer made by Marx in the early and the mid 50s. They made them for a few years. There's little astronauts, an astronaut and an alien. It comes with astronauts and aliens, and these things move so you can take the guys out. And this goes on a stand. So it comes with a crank that you plug in right here and you wind it up. And then inside of here is a gyroscope, and then it will balance and spin on the top of this base that it comes with. We're going to give it a try. We'll see if we can set it up. I think maybe we'll have to set it up on the kitchen floor. It comes with a set of little aliens that the aliens alone are actually like really valuable plastic figures because they only made these figures, these little alien figures that come with this set were only made and used and distributed inside of this set, and they're sought after and they're rare. And I got all of them. I got a full set of everything because you guys know me. No, really, I just got lucky. So I should have just showed you guys how we do that. So here's this base that is like aqua, and it's supposed to be like the surface of the moon. You got this red coast, and then you have this sort of, forget what they call it. There's a name for this piece. And then here's the crank that we're going to plug into the bottom of the mystery spaceship. And then let's take this in the kitchen where we can set it. Well, actually, let's see. I might be able to do it, hold it in my hand. So you take the mystery spaceship, you invert it, and then you power it up. Okay, let's see what we can do. That's kind of it. Let's try this.
I remember when you got this thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a couple of years. It's been about 2 or 3 years ago.
Well, maybe not when you got it, but I remember you showing it before.
Okay. Yes. Kind of cool, right?
Ah,
Has a real cool feel to it because it's made of this, like I said, like I think this is about 56. So it's made of this Marx Toys grade of 1956 plastic. So the whole thing smells really good and feels really good in your hand. It's a very solid toy. It's heavy. This is heavy because it has some sort of gyro spring inside here. It's got a gyroscope inside of it. It's heavy.
huh.
It's sealed with metal things at the bottom.
What kind of price range are toys like that in now?
I don't know about now. I would guess that now everything's probably doubled in price of what it was 5 years ago. So what I paid for this probably 4 or 5 years ago, or 3 or 4 years ago, was probably about $50 or $60. Now it's probably 100 or 120. I'm just guessing. I don't know. I know everything's gone up. And it's probably worth a lot more because I have absolutely everything and the original packaging. So it'll be worth more. It might just probably just loose and not working. This is probably now $50. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But like I said, a lot of times these things are broken. They don't work. The little men are always missing. The little men that come with the set that are really rare, sometimes they're not even with the saucer. Very often, all you're finding and paying for when you find this online is this piece.
Do people make
So
reproductions of little men for
yeah,
people that don't?
they do make reproductions of those little men, and even the reproductions will be like $5 or $10 a piece. So
Oh,
this was
yeah.
interesting. This was made. It says that it was prepared for the Marx Mystery spaceship by the member Sperry Gyroscope
No
Company.
tax on tips. No
I think
tax
Sperry
on
was the same
overtime.
company that
And
made
no tax on
those gyroscope
social
toys from the
security
early
or
70s.
housing.
Remember the drawing ones? Remember those? And then also the
Yeah.
thing that went up and down. Weren't those Sperry or not?
I will protect and expand the
Do you think you've got enough cool stuff to host the show for about 15, maybe 12 minutes?
and I will support a tax
Yeah,
credit
sure.
for
I can keep
family
going. I
Okay.
don't know.
businesses who take care
We can
of
we can move over to
All
other
right,
things.
because I'll be back. I inhale this kind of shit, so it won't take me long to eat.
great people, but you know that if we didn't exist to take care of this son who may be horribly, horrifically wounded in an accident or in war, that if we
Great Neck, New York. Sometimes just opening old paper like this, it's kind of sketchy. I got to go real slow.
could build your hospital system 3 times bigger if we did it, that they save us and the incredible credit that
It talks about the history of the gyroscope.
they can give.
I'm looking for a date, but I don't see anything yet. I don't see anything.
Credit for them. They didn't even ask for it. They didn't ask for it. They don't ask for anything. You know, they don't ask. A lot
Basically,
of
a
people
gyroscope is an
ask for everything.
instrument that depends on the inherent tendency of a spinning wheel to maintain a fixed direction in
Beautiful
space.
baby. The baby may be 45 years old, maybe 40. To them, it's their baby. They want to take care of their baby. And you could never give that kind of care in a hospital. I don't care what hospital you're talking about. You could never do what they do. But you'd have to triple your hospitals and you would be able to do that. And it could never be what they
A lot
do.
to this.
So we're gonna take care of that, right? It's gonna be good. We got so much. We got so much. We have so much liquid gold. We'll just take a little bit of
There's a Flintstones collector set.
more than
You guys wanna look at this real quick?
you know, I have.
Pop it open and see if there's anything on top to look at. Oh, these are cool right here.
Of course, the biggest find is in
These look
Alaska.
pretty cool.
It's
Can't remember the name of these things. These have a name.
Oh, yeah. I was just gonna tell you that. Well, he's real easy to find.
gold chart. I got it done. This guy gets in.
I have the complete
gets in,
set here. I remember
everything.
that
It's like
that much.
immediately, so
I feel like they have a name like Warriors,
that would supply
Warriors and Monsters or something like that.
Europe. It would
So
be
these were like bagged figures that came out in a set, I think in the early 80s. And
to
they
rapidly reduce
they
inflation.
came with weapons that are made of this neon plastic. There's shields and all different types of weapons. Well, all their hands are made to hold the weapons. The gold figures are the heroes, and they all kind of look like these sword and sorcery type heroes, like Conan a little bit. And then the gray figures are the monsters.
Within 12
They're
months,
also really cool, and
50%.
it's just a weird variety of monsters.
4 months from January
And on the
20.
bottom, it says,
Still the office of president, just so we win. We gotta win. You gotta get out. You gotta vote. Crazier things have happened, but you gotta get out and vote. Otherwise, we're
1983.
and all we're doing
I
is
looked these up, I remember, just by what was on the bottom.
now the home stretch. But you gotta get out.
No, it's 1983 Marty toy, and it's Marty. And I remember, I think I just did that. When I first got these, I didn't know what they were, and I think I just typed in 1983 Marty toy
I will also
figures,
restore
or
our
maybe
board.
monsters,
We have the
maybe for
safest
something,
board.
but it came right up.
And when you drop, if you haven't dropped my all-time favorite chart, I love this chart. I love this chart. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this chart. Where the hell? I love it. I go to sleep with it every night. I hug it and I kiss it. My wife says, "What the hell are you doing with that damn chart?" Let it turn to the right. I wouldn't be talking to you. And I'd go, ping. The chart goes over there. It's always on my left. Tonight it's on my right. But it's always on my left. And it's usually at the very end, not the beginning. It was like in the first paragraph, first sentence. And I said, let me see the chart. I was talking about how well we did with legal immigration. So what came down, I looked to the right. If I didn't look to the right, I wouldn't be looking at you at all right now. So it's pretty amazing. So I love that chart, but so if you look at the arrow on the
These
bottom,
look like they're supposed to look like Conan or King Cole.
history of the border, illegal immigration. That was the lowest point we had the border. It was so good. All this stupid person had to do is leave it the way it was. We had remain in Mexico. You couldn't come into the country. We had catch and release Mexico, not into the U.S. We had everything perfect. And then they decided to just blow everything up. It was so sad. Do you think it was easy to get remain in Mexico from Mexico? Not that easy.
I still don't know where to put those. This is a heavy set because there's a lot to this set. This is a Flintstones play set that Marx came out with in like as an anniversary set in 1991. It's called what is it called? The Ruby Edition.
And look what happened. As soon as I left, it looks like an Elon Musk rocket ship. Went from the best numbers in history to the worst numbers in history, and all of those criminals started pouring in. There were criminals, massive numbers of criminals, and I said that was going to happen. I know all the guys that had all those countries.
So this is really heavy because it's filled with Marx plastic dinosaurs and the Flintstones figures and the entire Bedrock villages in Bedrock.
Hey, how you doing? Hi, I'm Glenn. Hi. He's a killer. Okay. I say that affectionate. Hi, I'm Glenn. Hello, everybody. Nice guy. Oh, he's a killer. Okay, trust me. You know that's a compliment. That's a compliment, but it is. He's smart. But they're smart people. and they are, they're streetwise. I said, if you have an open borders policy, every
Oh,
country in the
something
world
close.
is going to drop their prisoners
All
into
right,
our country.
pop
And
it
that's what
open.
happened. The criminals,
This is one of those situations where once I open this, it's
terrorists,
going to be really difficult to get it all packed right back inside of here
19,
exactly the way it is. See how it all fits perfectly and everything's closed just right? Never going to happen again after this.
my years, 2 of my
I mean,
years.
obviously I've done it before, but this is the first time I've done it in a couple of years.
That's not allowed.
So, but it's very well organized. Okay, look, let's look inside.
Now you look at it, they come in by the thousands.
So there is some original pieces from the original Mark's Flintstone figures and Mark's playset mixed in with the ones that originally came in this box from 1991. So we'll take a look at them and everything right now. Like these. So let's start with this bag of figures right here. Let's take this
4
down.
years, Kamala has orchestrated.
These are some of my all-time favorite figures.
That any leader in American
And some
history.
of the earliest Mark's figures that I remember ever playing with.
She's violating her oath.
So
Eradicated our
these were the
sovereign
Mark's
source
dinosaurs from the 1960s.
army
They
of
came in these great colors.
migrants from prisons and jails.
They had a really cool feel to them and smell to them, and they still do.
You know who comes from the inside?
Each one, I'm pretty sure they all have the names of the dinosaurs. Yeah, this is called the Hadrosaurus.
You know,
They all have the names of dinosaurs written on their tails or on their bellies. It's a weird looking duck, platypus looking dinosaur. This was one of my favorites when I was a kid. You know this one?
funny subject.
These are really satisfying little toys to get back in your hand. If you haven't played with this since you were 6 or something, or seen it since you were 10.
The kind of people
They
coming
still
into our
exist and
country.
they're still out there and
But I
they
think
used to be inexpensive.
they always say, "Oh,
Remember this guy?
he's rambling," but now most of them realize that it's the weave, and nobody else can do a weave like Trump. Joe Rogan said it the other day. We did a great interview. He's a great guy. And I started talking about something, and then I went to another very pertinent subject, but it was, related barely. Bing,
So this Flintstone set came with dinosaurs, but then also, and it came with the same Mark's dinosaurs that they were already had released before.
From
But
Venezuela
then
to
it
the
also
Congo
came
and
with
the
all the
Rican
Flintstones
of
figures, which
lives. I mean, they're
we'll
stealing
look at in a little bit. And I think I have so many Flintstones character figures that I'm not sure that they're all inside this box. I think that they might be somewhere else. So I might be disappointed because I might not have all of the Freds that I own inside of this box.
MS-13 out of Virginia within
But I think I have more.
1 month.
I have multiple sets of the Flintstones because I like them so much. And when I found out that they had this, that I could buy the old figures and got some deals on some, I just started buying the old figures too, as well as the new ones that they made in the
If we
90s.
didn't have ice, I couldn't make that promise. I'll get them down here in force. They're gonna clean out this state. And we're gonna get them the hell out of here in one.
I always liked this one when I was a kid too. Even though he's not flying, he's just kind of sitting there. I always liked this
Someone
pterodactyl.
here directly from a mother, and I'd like you to just listen, because this is such a sad thing. This is brand new from a couple of days ago.
There's a different
And I was
duck-billed dinosaur. And then here's the best, like T-Rex. This was my favorite T-Rex when I was a kid. I really liked the look on his face.
We saw that, and I had some of the toughest people, and like 75% literally crying all over.
With the big long tail.
Right, since they were baby, they didn't cry even then, and they're all over the place. But look at it. Please, thank you.
Sunday night. I asked her to not stay up super late.
So what's cool about this set, obviously, is that you get the
First to
Flintstones house. You get the Flintstones house, and I think you might even get the Rubbles house next door.
I went to bed,
It's pretty cool.
not realizing that
You
that
know,
was gonna be the last time I saw her.
This didn't really come for us to play with when we were kids. This was before my time. This came out in the early 60s. You know, before I was born, and then none of my siblings had this set. I never knew it existed until I
trying
started
not to lose her
collecting
mind
Mark's
because I
toys,
don't know
and
who she
discovered
is.
it. And
I
yeah,
remember
so
the
then once I
phone
figured out
and
that they
on,
actually
and her
made
phone was pinging just
Flintstone
2 weeks
buildings,
really
is pretty
right
cool.
behind the skate park.
Now,
I
depending on the
was
year that they made
into
these,
the direction the phone was being pinged at,
it depends on the
and then
color of the
I
plastic with
see
a lot of the way things work with Mark's toys.
I see
So
yellow
you can, a lot of times you can date how old the pieces are by the color of the plastic that it's
on
made
my
of.
stomach. My daughter's hands and ankles were both bound. She was strangled to death, left with no pants. And I know in my
This is a
heart
set of
she fought and
painted Flintstone figures in here. They're
cried.
kind of cool because they're made by Mark's, and they're also painted, which you don't
Two
often
men
see.
learning are charged with capital murder tonight, accused of killing a 12-year-old girl.
Police say these men strangled her before dumping her into that creek. Both men were in the country illegally.
Apprehended, then released by Border Patrol less than 3 weeks before Jocelyn's death. The men accused of killing Jocelyn
And these
Nungaran
only were available with this set. They only came with
for
the
brutal
set.
violence.
Kamala Harris was in charge of immigration and our borders. If we had better border policies and not open borders and not these catch and release policies, I truly believe this all could have been prevented. Under
These are
her
all
being
between
vice
2 and 3
president
inches tall.
of this country, my daughter's life was
It's all kind of in the same scale as your little
she had
green
her
ornament.
entire life
How
with
you
me.
describe this era of Mark's play sets. And then, you know, Mark's made play sets for all
in the
different
ground
companies.
based off of policies that she allowed to keep.
Wow, look at how big and how cool
Kamala
this
Harris did have
Barney
one job, and she not only failed, not me, she failed my daughter, she failed Jocelyn.
Oh, and
She was
there's
one of both.
Handman.
President Trump reached out, gave me his sincerest condolences as not a former
That's it.
president, just as a father,
That's
someone
good.
who cares.
Oh, I think that the Fred is inside of the car.
I can at least know
Yeah, he is.
my next
But
child
in this set,
will be safe in this country.
you get all of those figures, and then the idea is that then you get Fred coming home from work, right? And he can pull into the driveway. Maybe he can leave from the driveway and go to work.
That was cool. The Flintstones house there.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we're looking at the Flintstones, Mark's playset, the Bedrock playset.
1983 was a good year, says John Goris. Yeah, for some things.
Yes. Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Cool. We don't need to get into this box because I want to be able to close it.
Yeah, thank you for filling in. I just had to eat dinner real quick.
Oh, you're welcome.
She can't eat yet.
No,
She can't. She
I lost
doesn't.
track of time. I didn't know how long it was on.
Every night they call they call it a lunch break, but it's dinner. They call it at a different time, so you can never predict. So I just put the food she ordered in the microwave, not cooking in the microwave, but just in there with the closed door, so it would retain whatever heat.
This is Lassie from about 1974, maybe 73. There was a cartoon called Lassie's Rescue Rangers, and they
I
made these
remember,
toys.
yeah.
And this is a really good. It's like really, this is the top tier. If you're a Lassie fan, this is the toy you want. It's a fully articulated Lassie. Oops, except her head came off. There. Back
Yeah.
on. Don't worry. She wasn't harmed. No animals were actually harmed in the filming of this show.
Department of Homeland Security did not do their job.
Yeah, it's really raining out there.
It's clear outside here. It's okay.
Did not do their job. If they would have made that one phone call.
That looks like a pretty giant figure. Is that G.I. Joe's, the original G.I. Joe size, 12-inch?
Yeah, it is. So yeah, it's a 12-inch figure sitting on top of like the tauntaun that's about 14 inches tall, maybe.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. That was so great, that movie, the stop
Yeah,
motion
it was.
animation.
It really was.
Human services did not verify his phone
Yeah,
service.
I can remember watching it the first time, like how amazing this particular scene was when we first saw this
Yeah.
stuff.
And then the scene where I guess the next day they're searching for Han Solo, and those snow speeders are flying map of the earth. They're flying over the hills, and then they go down, and just you get the feeling in the whole theater like you're going down a roller coaster. It just was you got to see those movies on the big screen. That was so much fun. I went to see it at this big old classic movie theater, and back in those days, you had to get to the theater hours and hours before to get a seat. And so I think the first showing was at noon or something like that, or 11 in the morning, and everyone was already in their seats at like 10 or 9 in the morning. The whole theater was filled. So the owner decided, well, they're already in their seats. Why don't I just run the movie, have an extra showing, and starts now, and then I could sell tickets for the original first showing. And so I sat. All of a sudden, the movie started early, and then the movie that I had planned to see, the showing I planned to see, I stayed for that, so I saw it twice. I think the second time, my mom just sat in the car; she didn't want to see it a second time. But that was nice for that was in 1980. I didn't have a driver's license then, so my mom took me to Fort Worth to see that. And then later we ate at Piccadilly Cafeteria at the Forum 303 Mall that Zork and I share memories of. And my dad said, "Well, why didn't you bring me to the movie?" And I was thinking, or I don't know if I said it's like when we saw Star Wars back 3 years ago, when we were leaving the theater, you were saying, "Well, I've seen all that before." And when I was a kid in the Flash Gordon serials, I thought he was kind of down on it, and so I thought he wasn't a big fan. But he wanted to see the second one, you know. I guess maybe he'd read about it in Newsweek or something. It's I don't know, or maybe he liked Star Wars more than he wanted to admit. Boy, this morning, if you will watch a replay of this morning's show, I'm talking to Paulo. The way he describes Portugal, it's like he's like talking like it's the planet Vulcan. Like no one has any emotion or interest in anything. He's just like, I don't know.
No, I haven't been. My family's from there, but I have never been back. My grandfather grew up, but not the same Portugal that Paula's from. My grandfather's from the Azores Islands, which are offshore of Portugal, but not even really that close to Portugal. I don't know how many miles away they are, but it's part of Portugal. But I think it's culturally quite a bit different.
It looks like I'm wearing one of those 1980s skinny ties, and they say down below. What are they? What are we looking? Oh, we're looking into a comic box or something down below. Oh, my wife finally got to. She says the boss let me take my break early so I can eat. Yeah, your chili dogs are in the microwave, and
2024 will be Liberation Day in America.
Liberation Day.
On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program of criminals in the history of America.
Oh boy.
I will rescue every city and town that has been invaded and conquered.
Well,
and we will put the vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail or kick them
so
out of our country. We're going to get them out of our country.
So, John Goris, what is the? Have you started? I mean, how much progress have you made on this Halloween video? Because Halloween videos can come out at any time. They don't. You don't have to have them come out at Halloween, obviously. I'm just eager to see anything new from you.
I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798.
So,
I think how far back we had to
Totally got
go.
I already
you
look
know,
at this one. I think I did. I can't remember.
yeah, I have that issue, and I thought it was a photo. I didn't know it was a painting until you just pointed it out. And I own that.
Yeah. I think, yeah. What they were doing is these little comic stories around this time, based on Hammer films or Universal films.
And I am hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement.
By this point, sometimes some of these articles were reprints from earlier issues, even as early as issue 50. Sometimes you can tell by the font that it's an older.
Oh, look
Brought
at
you
my.
handed me a Coke and I was panicky from the low blood sugar. Is that a good or a bad thing? That handing you a Coke was good or bad at that? I'm too stupid to understand what you're saying.
So look at my ashtray. My Aunt Clarice
Look at my.
got this
Let's take a look.
ashtray. My Aunt
Oh
Clarice got
wow!
this ashtray in Portugal in the 60s, probably the mid 60s, probably right around the time we were born, 64, 65. Look on the bottom.
What does it say?
Made in Portugal, hand painted. It has the date
Sleepy Joe Biden called our
SECX 17. So what is that? Probably 67,
Maybe,
1967.
but if the fact that it's in English means it was created for the tourist market, I would think.
Oh yeah, she bought this at some sort of tourist market, either in Lisbon or on one of the islands.
Huh.
That's kind of cool, but it's like a minute. It's obviously it's a miniature fireplace. It makes
Yeah.
a great ashtray.
Yeah, that's neat.
Because we consider it to be, Mr. Attorney General, election interference fraud.
I have 3 copies of this Gorgo issue. Um,
Oh
My
wow.
response to Joe and Kamala is very
Yeah, I just
simple.
have the one.
You can't lead America.
You what?
if you don't love
I just have the one. I don't have 3.
Yeah, I this one here has some significance to me. It's well,
Oh, I don't have
at the
this.
time I saw this the first time, it was the oldest famous monsters I'd ever seen. It seemed like it was ancient. In reality, it's probably from about 1968, but to me in 1974, 1968, only 8 years before, seemed impossibly old. And I remember it had Barbarella, and I remember it had the Wolfman heads, different colors. I mean, this was a previous cover, this painting. They have it in different colors, I guess, to look like Andy Warhol pop art, whatever. But where I saw it was this friend of mine from elementary school had a wagon filled with old newspapers and magazines for some church or some kind of paper drive he was doing. And this was on the top. And I didn't even think it was possible to ask, can I have that one? Because I don't know, there's something sacred about it being a church paper drive, but it was basically being taken away to be destroyed. My wife says my DNA test says I'm part Portuguese. Hmm. Well, Portugal
Okay, cool.
took
I'm
over.
50.
Well, what interaction would Portugal have with Honduras? Well, I mean, Portugal, they had all the ships. They probably landed over there, and
Yeah,
my chili dogs are in my mouth.
the answer is yes. Yes.
So,
They were kind of traversing and fraternizing before anybody.
so
They're
that's
kind of your
why the
original,
Portuguese
kind of
somebody
like
married.
one of your original what do they call them? Not usurpers. What is it called?
Invaders.
Yeah, invader. Well, not invaders. What do they call us? Not invaders. What do they call
Oh,
us?
oh, colonist. Not
Yeah,
what's the other?
colonizers. Colonizers.
Colonizers. Yeah.
Colonizers.
Yeah.
So the Portuguese, I believe, are one of your original colonizers. They were like circumventing the globe before anybody else, I think, and moving all over the place doing
Yeah.
stuff.
There were all these different, different times. There were different big giant navies. I mean, you had the Vikings. Well, they didn't have a navy, but they were explorers, and they landed here in this continent long before anybody, but didn't really make any significant, colonies or much to be remembered by. But Portugal had a huge navy. Spain was Spanish Armada, and then England, and then you know. Anyway, there's a good mummy shot. Um, oh, here's that little guy that I had. I was showing a little toy of earlier,
Yeah,
and
sure.
and Kevin was saying maybe that's the only time he was ever made into an. And I said, well, it's not an action figure; it's just a little plastic PVC thing. But I don't know that he's ever been represented that often as a toy. Uh, and I don't even remember. It seems like he wasn't he just in the background of some episode
Yeah,
as like
he's
an
in that one. Is
ambassador.
it called Voyage to Babel or something? It was the one with all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
aliens.
Journey to Babel.
Journey
Yeah,
to Babel,
that's where
yeah.
he was. Here's
And
one
that
of
toy, that figure you showed, I think that's a Playmates figure from the
yeah.
90s, from the 90s.
That's right. That's right. Oh, you were watching then, huh?
Yeah, I saw that part.
Yeah, it's an article on Barbarella. Oh, not good with panic. Well, oh my gosh. Um, I'm gonna end the stream. Um, I'm not. This isn't gonna be a long, super long stream. Yeah, this movie Barbarella. When you get people, different, just pictures, it just looks very strange. This picture. Of some it says meet the Twiggy of the 401st century, a tree girl, and one of the many amazing treats in Barbarella. Um, did you ever see the movie It? Not the clown It. This movie It. So I'm not sure if I've ever seen it. I've seen pictures from it.
No,
I think it's a
I just
Hammer
have
movie.
seen that still multiple times. Like I looked at that
Yeah.
still over and over again when I was a kid, like the petrified tree monster guy. I looked at
Okay.
the picture, but I never saw the movie it was from.
I'm proving myself wrong, and I pontificate a lot of times and state things that I think are facts. And I always said famous monsters never showed any Star Trek stuff until 1979 when Star Trek the Motion Picture came out. And because I thought, why wasn't there more extreme coverage of Star Trek and famous monsters? Because Castle of Frankenstein covered Star Trek, had cover story. They never did it on the cover, but here look, here's a Star Trek monster, and we just saw the other guy too. It says Star Trek scores again with realistic ape creature makeup. I was coming up with all these elaborate theories that maybe Ackerman had some beef with Roddenberry through the science fiction circles, because Forrest J. Ackerman was a literary agent for different science fiction writers. It's all everything I said was just proven wrong. Here's Curse of Frankenstein. My goodness. Well, yeah, I guess they did cover Star Trek. That was all. I always thought that was a mystery because Ackerman's real love was science fiction, not more so than horror. There's a nice representation of the Jack Davis Frankenstein. Uh,
Virginians, look to your left and look to your right. These are your American brothers and sisters. These are people I fought and bled for. These are people.
I was like this still here.
We're not done fighting for you. So on Tuesday, when we go out,
Yeah, see here in little print, it says famous monsters of filmland, and then it says incorporating Monster World. So it was at this point that they were deciding to count Monster World, which had been a magazine that was out at the same time as Famous Monsters. They were going to add the however many 12, 13 issues of that into the numbering. So there'll be a numbering jump where you won't see anything. Let's see if we can figure out where it is. I think it is in the 50s that there are certain famous monsters that just don't exist. They're because there's a Monster World issue that counts as that issue. Oh, okay. It shows you there were 12, there were 10. It looks like I don't know. In the back cover, shit. Anyway, so these are the issues of Monster World. Looks like there's 10. So this is issue 51. So let's see how they did a numbering jump here somewhere.
But if you'd like to come up and say a couple of seconds, or you could just stay where the heck you are. Come on now. Come on.
50. Maybe it happens later. 53.
We have the greatest economy in the world. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden broke it, and Donald Trump will fix it. We have
I don't know. At some point, there's a jump in the numbering. I don't know when it happens. I used to know that, but I don't remember. This is a cover that would have given my mother a lot of problems because
Middle East and China.
this wouldn't have been one of the issues I showed her because this came out when I was too little for that. But I would bring Famous Monsters up to her in the Base Exchange bookstore and say, "Can I get this?" And she'd flip through it. Usually she'd say, "Absolutely not." But she didn't like any kind of eye injury or any time that there'd be one eye and then an empty eye socket that would flip her out and there'd be no chance. But she'd flip through it, usually. And even though this is a magazine really meant for young kids, but I guess I would have been about 5 or 6 asking her for it. She probably thought that's not the best parenting. And maybe, I don't know. Maybe she's right. Maybe some kids would have nightmares. I wouldn't have, but it can warp. Some kids get warped at an early age with stuff like this, but then you deny kids having it, and then they have a lifelong obsession with the monsters. And uh, like me, and she denied me watching the Three Stooges. Same thing. Oh, we got some people. Back to William Medina says, "Was Famous Monsters still being sold during the other mag's run?" Yeah, it's just like they decided to have a sister magazine, but it was weird. Famous Monsters was 50 cents and Monster World was 35 cents. It's like a cheaper version. It's like, don't some cars have cheaper versions and then a deluxe model and a cheaper? It's kind of like Monster World had a little bit more comic art in it than Famous Monsters experimented with that. But yeah, I don't know. Um, it was 2 separate magazines, and then they just decided to. We'll just count that as part of the run. Wanted more readers like Felix Manuel of Puerto Rico. More readers like Richard Majka. Kids would send their pictures in and be honored.
I loved that part of the magazine because I was a little kid myself, and so so it was a really a short span that I really enjoyed Famous Monsters because it felt too hokey for me. So I
Yeah.
really, really liked it from about 10 to 12, right around those years. Once I was about 12, I thought the jokes were stupid and it was
Well,
really,
they were stupid, the puns, but the magazine was beautiful looking. I mean, it just had a beautiful look, and the pictures were great, uh, and the ads in the back were great. If you just ignore the text, which I think a lot of kids did, and
yeah.
then it was great. But yeah, yeah, he was pretty obnoxious. But I mean, we all love him, but he was
Yeah.
pretty
Well,
obnoxious.
I was becoming more discerning in those years, and also the money had to go a certain length and certain distance. So I had to make a choice. If either I wanted Creepy and Vampirella, or every month, or I had to miss out on one of those and get Famous Monsters instead. And I had a cousin who was really buying everything, and he bought Famous Monsters every month, so I was able to read them at his house, even though I wasn't buying Famous Monsters. He was still buying it all the
Yeah.
way the whole time.
So William Medina says so the jump in Famous Monsters started on 80. That's what I thought. Let me let me see. I should be able to tell you here. Um, yeah, the thing is, the Castle of Frankenstein and the Monster Times did a better job as a magazine to read, but Famous Monsters always would have had them, both of those magazines beat with the quality of the photos, the fact that Ackerman had pictures that no one else had from collecting from when he was a little kid. Let's see, 80.
And they're going to say, Mr. President, Virginia cannot handle so much business. We cannot handle it.
Well, I don't know. See, here's issue 86, 85, 83. Um,
Thank you, Glenn, for doing it. This was a
one is the frogs issue. Um, I think it's closer to issue 100 that they used it. I think that's 90. Man, no, there's 95.
we will hire America. And I
When did
the war in Ukraine.
there's 99, 100,
October 7th.
68, 69. Oh, there's no issues in the 70s. That's what it is. I mean, not 1970s. There's issue 69, and then it jumps to 80. I think that's where
Excuse me.
they used Monster World to fill in that gap, and that was, I believe, Ackerman was trying to get to issue 100 quicker because he wanted to have this big celebratory 100th um, issue, and that was this one. This is the big 100th issue. He wanted to get to this, so he jumped forward 10 issues by counting Monster World as issues of Famous Monsters. That's what I think happened. I'm sure people are laughing at me that are Famous Monsters experts, but I'm just going by my memory from when I was a kid. Let me see here. Boy, Kevin, are you still there? What's up with you down there in Mesa, Arizona?
Shit. I got to plug back in. I'm down to 11% on my phone. What happened to Kevin? He's gone. Huh?
Well, it's just
Oh, there he
I
is. He's
think
back. He's
it's
just busy.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was
he's.
checking in
I just
on him.
noticed he's there. I thought he was gone. I
Well,
have
you
to
see
plug
in the
in. I'm down to
pictures there.
10%. I was going to
Um,
go outside, but now I can't really go outside. to stay plugged in.
Yeah, I'm plugging mine in too. I don't know how low I am. F says Warren's first issue of 1984 was a revelation to me. Don't care how effed up some of the stories were. A great publication with amazing art. The art was amazing. Yeah. But yeah, that was the main thing, you know. But yeah, they had great art in that, undeniably. It's just something about it just made me feel skeevy as a well, I wasn't a kid. That came out in what did that come out? 1981, 80, or was it 79? I have no idea. Yeah, I was probably about 14 when it came out. It's like wow, they're taking this pretty far. Let's look at this.
So I think this is the oldest piece in my collection, and it was a
Oh,
gift from my mother, and it's a carnival. It's what they call chalkware. It's made of
yeah,
solid chalk, and it was a carnival prize from the 1930s, I think.
yeah. Plastic wasn't
And it's
invented
wimpy,
until
but he's
World War II.
kind of thin. What's that?
I'm just saying I
What?
know you know this. I was just telling the viewers who probably already know this that plastic wasn't invented till World War II. So they made these cheap things that they give you when you throw the ball into the hoop or whatever at the state fair or carnivals. They were made of chalk
Look this
and they were
way.
very easily breakable.
Yep.
And so I've got a few chalk
Yeah, so it's
figures.
super, it's highly breakable. If you drop it, it will just shatter. This is all the original paint on here. And
Yeah,
I've had it for years. My mother gave it to me, I don't know, when I was a teenager, I think. And I just kept it the whole time with all my
yeah.
stuff. And it managed to survive the whole time.
Wimpy's not quite as fat here. And he's
Yeah, so clearly they made him thinner for artistic reasons because they had all the figures, all the characters, and they had to be
yeah,
relatively the same size,
right.
molds, and the same amount of chalk, right?
Yeah, he's got very dainty eyelashes.
Yeah, look at the eye. Look at it was a stencil. They used like a stencil on his mustache and his eyelashes. Look,
Yeah, he looks like someone that would vote for Kamala Harris here. But I love it. Yeah, it's very identifiable as Wimpy. I know immediately who he's supposed to be.
hmm
What is
and
hanging
then he's
down
got a
on the
little
back
drip
of his
on
hat?
him.
Is that just paint that ran?
Yeah, that's just paint that dripped down when they originally painted it, and it's been here for 100 years. This is
They
probably
didn't.
almost. This is like 90 years old.
They didn't have much quality control on the paint. But yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's really cool. Imagine if you had a chalk Popeye.
They've got to be out there.
Yeah,
They've
I'm
got.
sure.
I'm sure all the characters are out there.
Yeah, if
I don't
they
think
made a
that that's really
Wimpy, they
expensive.
definitely
That's
made a
probably also
Popeye.
that's probably 50 or 100 bucks. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Um, oh, Kevin's moving.
I missed the whole show. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. What were you? Did you have customers?
Yeah, and I'm the only one here, so I'm running around like crazy.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a good thing to be busy. It's the alternative is not good.
I'm gonna
I
take
missed
this
a lot of
shelf.
it too. I was up eating and stuff. And you're really proud of that guy. That's great, man. That guy's fantastic. I've always wanted one of those.
Me too, but it wasn't high on my list. But now that I have it, I like it.
Yeah, I wasn't on my. It's never been on my. I don't really have a list. It's just things that appear to me during my life. It's like, oh, that's. Oh, it looks like he's ending this rally, and then I've got a. Then there'll be another rally after this. I don't know where he's going next, but I know there's 3 rallies today. Why am I not on you fully?
I think I'm gonna take that shelf down up top and put it in my Or should I leave it there?
Well, I think it looks good there. I mean, the fire marshal may not like it. I know they don't like things that close to the ceiling, but
Put it
you
in
know.
here.
Well, I mean, if these are masks, your own personal collection, having them out in the store, I mean, all they're doing is tantalizing the. Well, I mean, it's like if you go in a store and you ask them, "How much is that?" and they say, "Oh, that's not for sale," and it's like, "Well, what are you doing? Running a museum?" And it's like, "Why are you taunting me, showing me cool things?" So it might be good to have the stuff that you don't ever want to sell ever hidden from customers. Does that make sense? So you don't piss off people.
I was trying to make it so that people could appreciate it.
Yeah, well, it is. I see that point too. You could just make it a museum wall and just put not for sale. But once someone sees it and falls in love with it and then asks you what the price is, then they say you can't have it, then they get pissed. But if you have a sign that says not for sale, then they won't ask to begin with and won't get their hopes up. I don't know. What am I even? I have no clue. Might just be. I'd hate for you to take all that shit down. That looks great. That mask is nuts with the little guy ripping the person's face.
I might. Somebody has one with a green monster coming out of his head. I might trade him for mine.
Yeah, that mask.
Oh, I was gonna tell you. Remember, we were looking at the masks. Like these were $3 in the catalog, and the other ones are 35. The Don Post.
Yeah.
Some said that the Don Posts were $3 or $5, and I knew that was wrong. But there were 35 in the 60s
Well,
to buy one of those.
I get looking any one of these famous monsters I've been pulling out, and I wasn't looking at the
Yeah.
prices on them.
Well, I
But
noticed you posted an ad on your Instagram, and
oh
it had
yeah,
the price. It had the $35 prices on the ad you posted too.
oh yeah. Well, that $35 was like over $100 in our money
Oh, it
today.
was way more. It was way
Way
more.
over
There,
that.
this kid told a story about he saved up for 5 years to get $35,
Yeah, that's about right.
and by the time he finally made the $35, they're discontinued.
Shit.
See, these are all foam filled.
Okay. So once they're filled with foam, obviously they're no longer usable as masks, but they're preserved. They're not going to rot. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's something backing it.
Yeah. So
It's not going to turn
well,
into a pile of leaves.
well, I guess so. Their air isn't hitting it from both sides. I don't know how that all that works, but um, that's something I've learned from you. And I'm just assuming everyone hasn't watched every episode and doesn't know about foam fillings. That's why I'm
So I'm going to try to
something
learn.
that's
I'm going to try to learn foam filling.
yeah. Um,
I have some masks I can practice on, and I have a good teacher.
well, if you talk to that guy that used to live in the town where I'm at, if you have by any chance you're talking with him, you might want to ask him. Hey, would you like to come on this show? If it comes from your hometown, and
Yeah,
uh, you
I'm
feel
going to
free.
tell. I'll mention that you have the paper with them in it.
Yeah, just feel free
And that
to.
paper just came out. Did that paper just come out?
Well, it was like a week back. It's a weekly
Okay.
newspaper.
Well, I just
Um,
want to have something like because I
it's
need I need to contact him right pretty
I think
soon
it's
here.
the article's reprinted from the big newspaper in the city he lives in. So I'm sure he has a copy of that, but I'm sure he would like one from his hometown. I'm sure someone in his family has sent it to him. But anyway, he had to have been aware of it. But yeah, anyway, what I'm saying is always feel free to invite people to come on here if you meet really a real cool customer or if you have know people, always invite them. Feel free to invite cool customers or whatever onto the show.
Yeah, there was a cool guy that was just here. He makes vampire teeth.
Oh, that would be great if you brought someone like that on. Yeah, just just feel just feel free that you're not stepping on my toes or anything. Any time, invite people on. It's fine.
Yeah, he just made a guy for his cosplay. He's cosplaying as Blade, and he made him
Yeah,
a pair of vampire teeth. And I was looking at him, he showed me pictures, and they look so real. Like you can't tell that they're fake teeth.
yeah.
Looks like this guy was born with vampire teeth.
Wow.
How you guys doing today? Good. I've been drawing people these little membership cards.
Yeah.
Let's see, they have the whole Justice League membership card. I think I sent you a
Oh,
bat.
yeah.
They sent you a Batman. There's a Superman, a Wonder Woman. And then they did a blank one, and I've been drawing little sketches in here for people.
You draw the customers they're walking around the store, then hand it to them as when they make the purchase.
If they want it, yeah.
That would be funny.
And then this is the last one. They said it glows in the dark.
Oh, well, that's pretty neat. That actually is pretty neat. Kind of looks like the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the
Supposed to
same
glow.
artist created both. So it makes sense.
Here's the one I made for Meyer. I got to send it to him his next order.
Oh, look at that!
I
Holy
made a
shit!
I made a second one, but it's hard to draw this small.
Yeah,
The pens is hard to draw. I made this one, but I messed up, but I fixed it. I made it, but he's like,
he can't come on the stream unless you invite him. What are you talking about? You're talking about the Blade guy because that's what vampires can't come on without being invited. They're both good. You should send them both.
I'll send them both. I messed up, but I fixed it.
Oh, that's great. I don't see any mess up on it.
No, that's how it's better when you mess up, I think. Right?
Yeah. So the Wonder Woman one, what did it look like?
I told somebody that you can redeem them to me, and then you get a different one. If you
Uh,
collect all four, you can redeem them, and
he's saying, "Holy crud!"
that's all of them.
That's great. Oh, he's saying the vampire. Yeah, I get it. Oh man. Uh,
Nobody wants any eyeballs.
and I
I don't have very many stickers left.
oh, that's all you got left.
Hmm.
You don't have any of the black ones left either.
I should try to get some glow in the dark ones or something.
That sticker's great. You sent me one of those a long time ago. Meyer's saying those are both fantastic. I love those. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, they really are. I guess I haven't ever seen much of your art, Kevin.
I don't really draw anymore. I haven't drawn in a long time.
Yeah, but you're good. Let's see. So I guess he's going back to North Carolina after the next rally. Greensboro, North Carolina. He started in North Carolina this morning, went to Virginia. So North Carolina must be an important swing state, and it's also where they were hit by the hurricane and not treated that well by the government. So I'll wait here for that to start. So it's been a pretty good day business wise, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a slow stream of people, steady.
Did anyone buy anything significant other than like comics, like a big something big item?
Somebody just bought one of these Banes. It's $100 figure.
Oh, really?
This guy.
Okay. Yeah. In the comic, is he supposed to be a wrestler, like a South American wrestler or something?
I think so.
Yeah.
He's got a Hispanic heritage, I think.
It's just looks like a wrestling outfit.
Yeah.
That's not my time period of comics, so I don't really know anything about Bane.
Oh, you know those Mezco figures I was talking about earlier? They
Yeah.
I have a there's Popeye ones coming out. I have
What is you were talking about it, but I'm refresh my memory what Mezco is.
Mezco are the 1/12 scale with the so it's 6-inch scale, but they have cloth clothes. Um, I don't know how else to describe them. I only own in my collection. I'm gonna get the Junkyard Joe, but other than that
Oh,
one, I only have this guy, the Grave. I have the Grave Robber.
oh, look at that. So they're high dollar figures. They're um gonna
Yeah,
be at least $100, huh?
they're $100, and they're once you buy one, you buy more because they're really nice.
Well, if it's
It's like
yeah.
having the best Migo ever. It's like Amigo times 100.
Well, if it was a really cool vintage looking Popeye, it'd probably be worth it.
It looks like a Popeye if he came to life, like if he was real.
Oh, okay. There was a issue of National Lampoon in the mid 70s where they had very highly detailed paintings, realistic paintings
Have a
of
good day.
comic strip characters. One of them was Popeye, and they just all looked like mutated freaks. And one
Yeah,
was Little Orphan Annie, and she had just no pupils in her eyes, but it was super realistic. And then I think maybe one was Henry. I don't know if you know that comic strip where the kid looks like he has a butt for a chin. And I can't, I bet Meyer knows exactly the issue I'm talking about, but I don't think he's on right now because he's in the chat. Uh, um, who else did they do? Maybe Dick Tracy. I don't know, but these characters that, if they were brought to life exactly as they're drawn, would just be horrifying. And they did. It was good.
yeah, because a guy like Popeye with the forearms like that, it would be like a mutation.
Yeah. Well, there are guys that have extremely developed forearm muscles that are sailors for some reason. But yeah, yeah, that sounds cool. Um, yeah, Meyer is not there anymore. It's hard to know when you're on one person when someone disappears, but he must have. I think. Oh yeah, that's right. He was gonna go smoke, and he's probably charging his. Okay. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna
Let
get
me
the
see.
show.
Let me see if I can find what price these those masks were. I'm up to like about 1968 now.
What are you looking at?
I'm just going through my Famous Monsters magazines just for
Oh,
fun.
cool.
Uh, I brought them out because I thought I'd show them on a Halloween show, but it's like I never got
So
around to it. And
the customer that makes the vampire things, he went to Spirit Store today and got 50% off a Boris Karloff Frankenstein mask.
oh wow, that's great. Um,
Yeah,
I
if I ever become a vampire or want to be a vampire and get fangs, I'm gonna have him make them for me.
um, yeah, well, that sounds great. And he's a local guy, huh?
Yeah, yeah. All the
Um,
monster guys have been coming in today. I think. Oh yeah, because the monster guys. That's right. People start getting depressed after Halloween. They have to.
like postpartum depression because Halloween's over.
Yeah.
This is weird. This issue of Famous Monsters, where this is issue 54, in the back you've got an article, and you know it's like usually in the very back you've got ads, then the ads begin. It's weird to have an article at the very end. I don't remember ever seeing
I
it.
was talking to the one guy about Castle Frankenstein, and he said, "Well, I tried it and I didn't like it." And I said, "You might want to try it again because it's better now."
He tried it in the new art incarnation, or
No, he
tried
tried
it
it
back.
back before when they tried to restart it.
Oh no, it was terrible. I wouldn't even. I never even bought an issue of that. I didn't. Unfortunately, those ones that came out in the 90s are incorporated into the numbering, so they're permanently part of the history of Castle of Frankenstein. No, it was unbelievably bad. Only the ones from the 60s and into the mid 70s. And this new one, and I accept this new one. Oh, see here's an example. They're reprinting that article showing the Don Post Studios that and yeah, Kong Returns. They would do that. They figured that kids only only read this for a few years, if even that long, so they could get away with reprinting stuff, and then they didn't have to work as hard to put together the next issue. And oh, this one's been written in by a previous. They filled out the crossword puzzle with the words like names like Zachary and Frankenstein, and it's done in pencil. It's okay, it's just part of the history of the magazine. The magazine's in good shape. It's sure guy. Look at that.
I want to
It's
put
Pete.
together maybe a magazine or a comic or a fanzine or a trading card set,
Uh-huh.
but we need people to help.
Oh, I'll help. I'll come up with paintings and stuff for you. No problem. Especially during the summer. I have time during the summer and around Christmas time. That's when I have extra time. This is a museum. Oh, it's a museum in France with these mannequins or wax figures or whatever. Uh, they've got Frankenstein from Universal and from Hammer. Pretty neat. At this point, we're up to issue 54 is got to still be the 60s. Yeah. March of 69. Meyer says, great thumbnail today, by the way. Yeah, there's some group on Facebook that's actually pretty, I sometimes people come up with some amazing AI art. I hate AI and everything, but sometimes they can. Um, and there's some group that just on Facebook that's nothing but per, insane, artificially intelligent Batman art, and it's nuts, and what they come up with, and
I
uh,
posted an AI song on my Instagram.
oh yeah, I'll have to look at that. 54.
It's on my Taco Bell post from last night.
Oh yeah, is it a song about Taco Bell?
It's an AI song that I found on there. It's like a country song. It's pretty funny.
Well, I've got several copies of this issue. So the other one probably doesn't have the crossword filled in. This is, yeah, I remember buying this in the 70s at Lone Star Comics. This seemed incredibly old to me. It's the Land of the Giants issue.
That's cool. I like that one.
Yeah. The Now this on the back is that artist that I'm always complaining about, Tony Tallarico. I
Hey,
can
I
instantly
can leak some news right now. Maybe it hasn't been talked about. I don't think.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if you can hear me. My phone's ringing.
I hear you fine.
I'll just decline that phone call. My friend went to the convention to meet SpongeBob, the voice actor.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine.
Yeah, and he was talking to him. And he really said he was a nice guy. And he
Tom
said that
Kenny, great guy.
they had just filmed or they had just voiced 13 new episodes of Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, did they?
And they were talking about because my friend's a studio musician guy where he records albums and stuff for people.
Uh-huh.
And they were talking with the voice actor about the stuff you always talk about. What is it? Where they take songs or samples from older things and use them, like you were talking about with Space Ghost.
Oh, yeah, okay.
What's that called?
Sampling?
Is that what it is? I thought there was a different name you always talk about with like those Always Sunny songs and stuff. They're like older songs from a different time period.
Oh, what are those? How do people refer to those older songs?
Yeah,
Uh, people call them easy listening or bachelor pad music, or space age bachelor pad music,
I
lounge
guess.
music. Well, you could call it that too. But they're using some of that type music in the SpongeBob.
Well, yeah, they will put stuff in there like that.
Yeah, well, Tom Kenny is a comedian, and he would travel around the country, and whenever he came through Dallas, he'd sleep on my friend's couch or in his extra bedroom, and then he became SpongeBob, and you know he probably doesn't need to ever sleep on someone's couch
No.
anymore, but
So
he
what he
probably
did was he sold his rights for a lot of money, and all he has to do now is he doesn't have to do anything. He just travels the world and he takes pictures of sea life and stuff. That's his hobby.
that's cool. Well, the reason my friend was friends with this comedian, my friend Randy, you may remember him coming on. He's the one that had the '60s Spider-Man comics that gave me his Avengers collection.
Yeah,
He's
he was
a
just
big
on not that long ago.
yeah, he's a big record collector, and Tom Kenny is too. And so I think they met together through their love of music, and that's
Yeah,
why that's
that's
why
why my friend got along with him really good today.
there's a lot of musical artist on SpongeBob SquarePants. I've never really watched the show, but I know Lux Interior of the Cramps did voices for that, or they used or the
Uh-huh.
Cramps did a song for
Yeah.
SpongeBob. It's
There's one
because of
episode where Slayer plays the whole time. They're playing Slayer.
that's because of Tom Kenny being
Yeah.
into music. That's where that's coming from. So yeah, that's good. Look at this. This is a young Richard Corbin as Frankenstein here. Look at that.
Oh, he put a scar on his head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Richard Corbin, man. Now he's uh,
That's pretty cool.
here's this is
What year is this magazine?
some kid's dream date. A girl that said famous monsters. Lois Edmonds. Can you imagine meeting as a little kid, meeting a girl that's pictures and her picture's been in famous monsters? That would that's like that guy,
That,
that
that'd be
couple
like
that
the highlight. Where do you
the
go from
girl
there?
the girl that draws the elf quest, the guy that it was Wendy and Richard Peeney. Richard Peeney can't draw. He's not an art. He was just her business manager. The elf quest comic was all her, and he met her
You have any
because
questions?
she had a letter published in one of the early Stan Lee Jack Kirby Fantastic Four comics, and it's like, oh my God, a girl reads Fantastic Four, and he started corresponding because in the old '60s Marvel comics they printed the kid's whole address, and you could just become pen pals, and that's how he met her, and then they married, and all of that. It's weird that they never made a animated version of ElfQuest. Isn't that weird? It seems like someone would have done that.
Maybe they wouldn't want to sell off the rights. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be, but yeah, that just seems like something that would have been logical because it does have a fan base. In Japan, I know you know this, but people watching may not know there was an anime feature made of Tomb of Dracula. You can see it on YouTube.
Like a Japanese anime, Tomb of Dracula.
Yeah, but I mean, it's clearly drawn based on the comic. I mean, the Dracula looks just like in the comic, and it's the
Oh, that's cool.
storyline.
But it's made in Japan and it maybe in the 80s or something.
Probably the '80s. Yeah, I mean, it's
So I know
yeah,
recently Japan made an anime based on remember the NES game Castlevania?
yeah.
They
It's
made a
it's in,
anime
yeah.
on
It's in Japanese. You watch it with subtitles. The Tomb of Dracula one. I don't think they call it Tomb of Dracula, but it's a Dracula. If you see a Dracula anime, just type in. I think you could just type in Tomb of Dracula anime into YouTube
it all new
search.
stories, or are they just adapting the comics?
As I recall, it adapts the comic, and um, yeah. Oh shit! I could pull it up on my TV right now. I'm not using my TV. I'm just waiting for them to go live with the next stream on Right Side Broadcasting, so I could actually pull it up right now and see if I can conjure it up. Um, shit. What is the damn time, man? I'm start. Donald Trump's starting to curse a lot, and I'm starting to do the same thing. What's the damn time? What the hell? I noticed that lately. He's starting to curse more and more. Uh,
They're playing Christmas Flintstones. It seems like all day today.
well, um, yeah, we've got all switched over from goddamn from Elvira to this pinup Palmer that is on Svengoolie. She's
Yeah, I bet you she doesn't alienate her fans.
well, she's a blonde now. She posted on Instagram some pictures where she was at some She works at one of these parks, I think, also like
Like a
Universal
haunted house.
or Not Very Farm or something, doing
Oh yeah.
characters. But she's there, I guess, with her new boyfriend or something at one of these. And then they have this staged hanging. Someone, and they allow it on Instagram. I would have thought that they wouldn't. I mean, it's clearly not real, but I would think the AI on Instagram wouldn't have allowed that video to be posted on her page because, but oh well.
Oh, it's not. Is that high enough? Oh wow, that's big.
This is a fantastic cover. This one I remember it being on the stands.
Oh yeah, the green slime. Yeah.
Yeah. And look at it. Oh, they're just coming on. Shit. I can't, just trust me, it's there. This is an
Yeah,
ad,
go
not for,
fast.
you must have a customer. I got to get this recorded here. See, here's another ad for a comic book dealer. This is probably from about 1970. Comic books for sale from 1934 to 1969. So this is really about probably late 69. 50,000 comic books. Playboy 1953 to 1969. Complete runs of DC, Marvel, Gold Key, many other publishers, and 25 cents for complete list. It's in Flushing, New York.
Yeah, I haven't been to this location. I only been to
Now,
one
this
more.
is what people collected as of 1969 in this ad. Notice it has Big Little Books, 1934 to 1947. Notice that's first on the list because the Big Little Books generation was still, around. They were probably my age or older, but they still were buying it. So it was still a seller. Now, Big Little Books, those people are gone, and
Yeah.
Big Little Books have gone down in value. And of course, that's what I predict will happen eventually to everything that we love as people no longer have any connection to it. Sunday newspaper comic pages, Flash Gordon, Tarzan, Buck Rogers, etc., 1933 to 63. People saved the Sunday comic supplement. Horror and science fiction mags, Pulp, Stock Savage, Shadow, etc., 1935 to 1948. Movie serial books, Buck Rogers, Dick Tracy, etc. Hardcover books, back issues of famous monsters, screen thrills, wildest westerns, spacemen, ECs, etc. Mad Magazine, number 1 to 127, 8 by 10 serial albums, Flash Gordon, Spy Smasher, Dracula, etc. How was Dracula a serial? Oh well. 8 by 10 photos, Star Trek, Superman,
I was just
the
looking at
TV Avengers, Batman, etc. Original artwork.
yes, please.
Interesting.
Look it up.
What does it say?
Linden Hill, P.O. Box 1102, Linden Hill Station, Flushing, New York. Just an interesting ad historically for comic book collecting. Uh, but I'm still pining for Lois Edmonds. Remind me who Lois Edmonds is again, Meyer. Were we just talking? Wait, we just saw that name a minute ago. Meyer says, I'm a Commander USA guy from now on. Elvira Zakami. Yeah, Commander USA was great. Awesome Mag. Love old comic ads and mail order catalogs. Library 88. Yeah, good to see you, Library 88. Shit, we got 18 people watching, and
Do you want to see the? I put up that new shelf.
yes. Ah, oh, my wife's saying panicky and considering asking for another break or being dismissed for the rest of the shift. Well, okay, I probably need to end this stream and here in a minute. And if you stop, Yeah, I probably should in the stream here pretty soon. If you stop your shift, I'll go up and hang out with you. Oh my gosh, those masks are scary. They're kind of scary looking because they're not scary in the sense that they're monsters. They're scary in the sense of you just imagine who would be wearing masks like that. It's just they just look. There's something about them that's weird. Oh yeah. Um,
Yeah, if you see kids wearing them for like the old black and white pictures, you know, they look.
Yeah, there's just something about it. It's almost like you just picture like some scary person wearing them. It's almost like the person that would wear a mask like that is scarier than what the mask depicts.
Yeah, you could say that about the collector that collects these kind too.
Yeah, they could probably say that about all of us. Yeah, um, but this is a genre. This is a type of collecting that I admire. It's not. I don't know much about mask collecting, and I've never really known. I guess I've never really known many mask collectors, and I think it's fascinating. I, it's something I'd love to do. But yeah, just the thought of owning all these masks that were always advertised in the magazines, like what I'm looking at, is cool. I like how that eye glistens, like it's really wet and liquidy.
Coffee City. Which one?
Well, I wonder this one I could use a better copy of because I
Yeah, you
see it
can't find
has
that. That's gonna be
spine ticks, dreaded spine ticks. I have this movie poster, this one sheet with this just one of the all-time great images from the movie The Green Slime. Green Slime has a great theme song that was released on a 45 RPM record, and you can another thing you can look up on YouTube, and so you don't have to pay for a vintage copy of the 45 RPM record. Listen to it on YouTube. Trust me, it'll be worth your while. The theme to Green Slime. I think it was by the Green Slimes.
all the
I could
bar
be
the guard.
wrong.
You're not gonna beat those
It
guys.
was. It's good.
Yeah,
It's
they're gonna buy all three.
better than anything U2 ever released. The band U2, I don't like them, but this is a better band than U2. Trust me.
I was running around and Robert's that.
Here's number 58. Talk about only time Rowan and Martin were ever mentioned on the cover of Famous Monsters. It's because they did a movie called The Maltese Bippy. Rowan and Martin were the Laugh-In creators, and but anyway, one of them played a werewolf in a movie called The Maltese Bippy, so
All done with the weekend
they got
today.
credited on the cover.
Only 7 hours, but it
We're
turns
up
into
to 58 now.
right.
Maybe I'll look at some more of these tomorrow. I'm, I've been live streaming all day, man, like an insane maniac. See, this is a still. I've never seen that still. That's a fantastic still. Forest JR, no one else had pictures like that. Um, so that's why this one as well. Um, so this was a visual feast. You just had to ignore. You don't read the text because it was written like for 8-year-old morons. Um, Ackerman was. It was very infuriating to try to read his little puns, constant puns. So, but this is a magazine that's beautiful. I mean, in every other way, you just gotta You just got to read it and pretend you're a 5-year-old that doesn't really know how to read, and you just ignore the. Here's 77 roles, every movie that Lionel Atwill was in. You gotta. And this adaptation of The Mummy that 100% looks like Wally Wood art. Yeah, they don't. It's funny how they're not crediting the artist. Uh, yeah, that's Wally Wood for sure. Yeah, great. Anyway, wow. There it is. Meyer, if you're watching, there's the Star Trek logo. So it was the logo used or on earlier model kits from AMT or whatever, and then I must have a second generation from the early 70s, but the original kit does have that where it's all lowercase letters. Oh, my wife says the boss told me to go ahead and wait half an hour. If I get better to jump, okay, we will see. Really struggling with this anxiety today. I need to go hang out with my wife that she's not feeling good. But I would like to talk to Meyer about a couple of things. Yes, there it is. My wife wouldn't mind. I would like to talk to you for a little bit, just, just about some things. Um, so I'll probably call you when I in the stream. But let me
What do you
wrap
think
this
of
up.
it?
Huh? What do I think of what? Oh shit. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't looking. I had the camera only on me as a narcissist, of course. Uh, I think it looks fantastic. Is that one guy touching the ceiling there? That
The Dracula? You
third
tell me.
third
Hold
guy
on.
from the
I'll put you
right.
up there. Can you see?
Uh, Not quite yet. He's got a Nixon hairstyle there. No, he's clearing it by a little bit.
You
There's
clearing?
he's clearing it, but
Yeah, he's the tallest one.
I know that fire marshals like in classrooms and schools, they don't like shit that close to the ceiling. I don't know exactly why. There's some reason why. If Dr. Fibes was still on the internet, he could probably tell us why that is, but he seems to have completely disappeared off the planet Earth. But
He's probably wrapped up into Halloween. He
yeah,
probably has
yeah. Well, maybe
huge.
he'll reemerge now, but because he's wrapped up in Halloween, isn't a reason to take down every single thing he ever had on YouTube and Instagram. But because that's a lot of work. If you're wrapped up in Hollywood, you just stop do putting it. But he took everything down, so that tells me he's sick of everything or wants to start over completely. I don't know. That's kind of what he had told me. He was wanting to just rebrand and start over. But I hope he comes back because he seemed like a wonderful new friend, and I want to. But it's sad when someone just disappears, man. It's like you think he's. Oh man, yes, there we go. Just can't deal with annoying people in North Carolina right now. Feels wrong. Yeah, North Carolina is like an important swing state because Trump is just about to have his second rally there today. He went from North Carolina to Virginia, and now he's going back to North Carolina. So that is an important swing state. Well, the cringe that came along was no good, so I don't blame him. Um, yeah, I think Trump has it in the bag. The only problem is what they do when he wins. That's where the that's where the problems are going to come from. Um, Fringe. Okay, so it is currently 7 o'clock. You'd only have an hour left of your shift anyway. So, excuse me.
It's 5 o'clock here.
Yeah. No, I already have all my clocks set for the.
Looks like it's
There's the
gonna
time.
rain. Looks like
Yeah,
it's gonna
middle.
rain tonight or tomorrow.
Man, it's been raining here. It's been raining and where Meyer is. It's like it's raining all over the country. Um. Oh, Ooh, is that a? That's interesting. Um, it's 6 o'clock in the new time. Again, remember to guys, the time change tonight. Um, um, I need to feed the cat and brush my teeth, and I'm going to go up, hang out, see what's going on with my wife, how she's feeling. Uh, so turn off some of these lights.
So what's the countdown? How many days?
Oh, the countdown. Let me check a second. Yeah, the wind's blowing. It's raining out there. Let's see. I have a count. What I did is I went. I just typed in. You just type into Google countdown clock election. That's what I did, and let's see what it says. Um, Here we go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
2 days, 5 hours, 57 minutes, and 50 seconds. That's counting down till 12 a.m. midnight on Tuesday, November 5th. That in other words is counting down to when it's November 5th. Really, a better countdown would be to when the polls close on November 5th. That would be maybe a more I
That's
don't
the
know
count.
what
That's
you.
the countdown to a new comic book day too.
Oh, is it okay? And it's also a countdown to getting the package from you. It's supposed to arrive on November 5th, so it's a momentous day all the way around. Um,
Unless they just
uh,
shut the mail. Unless they just shut the mail down completely.
yeah, I'm hoping not. It says November 1st, 7:48 p.m. It arrived at the Phoenix, Arizona distribution center. They'll probably have some update tonight, but yeah. Oh boy. And so
And then
this
I'm gonna
poor
put my
lady.
Dawn post. Put my Dawn
There,
post one step below.
oh, you're gonna make like a museum, like a history of how and you can frame little ads from famous monsters next to them and show how they were advertised. Uh,
Yeah.
this lady,
Yeah, this
there,
is
I
gonna
don't
be
know
my
if she's
monster
Diamond
museum
or
back here.
Silk. She was this comedy duo that have been around since the first time Trump ran, and then her partner in comedy passed away from the I think pretty much from getting the thing that we shall not talk about, and so now she's just kind of alone. It's kind of sad, but um, my goodness. All right, yeah. Hold on. Let me give you full screen. I'm gonna watch you build the wall while I brush my teeth and feed the cat, and then I'll head upstairs.
We're building a wall. Yeah. I
Yeah,
forgot
it's
one. Forgot the most
oh man.
important one.
He's the greatest of all. You know what you need though is the hold on, this is not the real one. I'll show you actually for me. This is this vampire girl one. That's
Yeah,
not, and
I need
that's
that
not really
one.
a
Yeah.
mask because she has eyes. There's no way if you put that on the front of your face, you can't see. There's no eye holes.
Well,
So that's
that's the
really
best
just
kind of
for
mask.
yeah, but is it really called a mask? It's more like just a display piece, you know.
Well, I'm not putting any of these on, so I'm foam filling them. So
Yeah. Do they make little fake eyes to put
yeah,
behind the holes so that you can have it look more like it's alive?
yeah. I've seen people put eye appliances underneath there. Yeah,
Oh, that would be the thing to do.
yeah. The shock monster. We gotta make room for him.
And so, is the shock monster coming out soon from that mold of the one you got?
I'm guessing, yeah.
Oh boy. And it's going to be an inexpensive mask. From I heard Horror Mike talking about it, saying it's just going to. The way he talked about it, it's like it's going to be a $20 mask or something.
I think about 30, but you know what else they're gonna do for 20, I think, is let me show you. They're gonna do a candy pail like these. These
Yeah.
are plastic candy pails. They're gonna do a shock monster one.
Oh, I want that. Are you gonna? Is that something you'll be able to stock for your store?
Yeah, I'm gonna stock those.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I want one of those in my cabinet or pile or wherever. Shock Monster is really one of the most iconic images of the whole 1960s monster. And he's right up there with Rat Fink as one of the most recognizable things to baby boomers that were into monsters.
Yeah, I gotta put him, I think, in the center. He's gotta be a centerpiece, I think.
When are you going to decorate for Christmas?
Um, maybe I'll bring the tree in this after the weekend's over.
You got to get a Santa Claus hat on your Invasion of the Saucermen life size guy.
That's a big Santa hat to fit that head.
Well, just like put it on top. You know, I don't think
They
you'd
might
be able
make
to
it.
get it.
Maybe they make Santa hats that big.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't. I would kind of not think so, unless it's made for an elephant in a circus. I need to watch movies like that sometimes. I've got a lot of movies I need to watch with Cleo. There's actually a couple of movies I promised to watch with her tonight, so I'll gotta watch those.
Yeah, I got shock monster in as my centerpiece.
All right.
So I was gonna have Dracula as the centerpiece because he's the tallest, but I can't just go by the tall. I gotta go by most iconic.
Yeah.
All right, let's stand back. Okay,
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna change these lights to LED instead of fluorescent. I don't want anything getting faded. All right, change that fluorescent.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then I can put one on each side too. I can hang them like how these are hanging.
You have
I
the
can,
same fluorescent type lights as down on the floor of your store.
the fluorescent. These are LEDs in the store.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, those fluorescent lights. I've got one like that in my Batman toy room. I never turn the light on hardly, except for the few minutes that I spend in there. But I need to get that
Yeah,
changed out because I don't
these are.
believe in fluorescent light. It fades and ruins things. It's
Mhm.
not something collectors should have in their homes.
No, I think black lights are bad too. I think that's UV light. That's pure
Yeah.
UV.
Yeah,
That
it
makes
would.
sense.
Yeah, it's not good for your eyes either. I don't think it's cool looking, but I wouldn't want to have it around me all the time.
All those dark rides, those old dark rides with black lights, all that. That's why maybe all those animatronics inside those old rides, they all got messed up.
Yeah, that could be, or in those carnivals, they probably had to repaint those figures pretty often. Slap new red bloody paint on them pretty frequently.
Yeah, I like this. I can just sit back here and look up.
Yeah, this is gonna. This is when you get this done, and you post this on Instagram. I mean, yeah, that yeah, maybe this will get the Dark Ride Dracula people over on our show. We gotta befriend those people. My wife keeps saying, "Well, what if they don't like Trump?" And I'm saying, "That I'm kind of screwed because that's all I talk about on this channel." But I'd like to make friends with fellow monster collectors. Just not thinking about the fact that I may be shooting myself in the foot. Oops, I shouldn't say that on YouTube. But metaphorically, by but then I don't know. I just you don't know. Um, okay, I don't want to end the stream because I'm eager to see this. But the next time we do a show, you'll have this finished, and that'll be something to look forward to. Um,
Yeah, then I'm gonna start a new row with Don Post, and then I'm
yeah,
gonna maybe I'll save room for the ones I'm missing.
yeah, yeah. It's like a vision board. You got the empty spaces there, so you know what you got to get. Um, Drew, that's a treat. You want it? It's a gravy bone. Drew's discovering the treat I left out for her. See if you like it, Drew. It's for you. She's looking at me. Is this for me? Am I allowed to eat this? Well, I guess I guess I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream and see it. But hang out for a second there, Kevin, and I'll talk with you for a second after the show. But everybody, I'm gonna be heading out, and I'll talk to you guys real soon. Goodbye.